The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Good morning. 4 arrested in an $18 million cocaine bust. The court ordering new bail hearings for a man accused of corrections officer murder. And in our discussion today, we are talking with the Ministry of Health about their National Health Strategic Plan for 2026 through 2030. What do you need to know? It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Monday, December 22nd, 2025. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, DeAndrew Cartwright will be joining us. That's all ahead, but first, it's time for the Overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, 3 Bahamian men and 1 Jamaican man arrested after the United States Coast Guard found over $18 million worth of cocaine and marijuana aboard a white go-fast boat the men were on while in waters near Cuba. Acting on intelligence on December 7th, the Coast Guard intercepted the vessel. And during the operation, 3 Bahamians, ages 57, 44, and 30, along with 1 Jamaican, age 36, were arrested in connection with the possession of dangerous arms, a firearm, and ammunition. When officials searched the vessel, they uncovered a large quantity of cocaine with an estimated weight of 2,252 pounds hidden within the vessel's hatch. The cocaine has a street value of $18,400,000. Officials also found 7 pounds of marijuana along with an illegal firearm and ammunition. The marijuana has an estimated street value of $7,000. The 4 suspects were detained and transported to New Providence, where they've been handed over to the Drug Enforcement Unit as of December 18th. The Court of Appeal has quashed a decision refusing emergency bail to a man accused of the murder of a corrections officer and the attempted murders of his co-workers. They've ordered a new judge to hear his application. Michael Petty Jr. was formally charged with the murder of Ashantino Johnson and the attempted murders of Perry Butler and Gregory Bullard on November 12th. The men were all stabbed while at the Blue Ice on Blue Hill Road on November 5th. The day after his initial court appearance, Petty appeared before Justice Franklin Williams KC on an emergency bail application on the grounds that he would not be safe in prison since his alleged victims were corrections officers. Williams refused the application after finding that Petty's application didn't meet the criteria for emergency bail because the prosecution opposed the application, and he's neither sick, elderly, a juvenile, or pregnant. The panel of Justices of Appeal, Milton Evans, Bernard Turner, and Gregory Hilton, said that after determining the application was not an emergency, Williams should have adjourned the matter and made a decision after hearing full arguments. Petty's lawyer, Nicholas Mitchell, said the judge referred to remarks by Commissioner Don Clare in the media regarding petty safety, although this information has not been provided by the prosecution. Prosecutor Timothy Bailey told the appellate court that he did not provide any information at the Supreme Court hearing, and he'd requested more time to do so. Amid reports that doctors providing national health insurance services have not been paid since October, Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darville says the government has begun to address outstanding payments. Former Health Minister Dr. Dwight has called on the government to pay the healthcare professionals what they're owed. Darville noted policy changes have contributed to the delayed payments. He said, quote, "While we acknowledge there have been delays, providers continue to receive payments. The most recent payment was issued last week and another is scheduled for next week." Darville also thanking the healthcare workers for their dedication, stating that the ministry remains committed to transparency and collaboration with medical professionals. Overseas, a car bomb killing a Russian general today, the third such killing of a senior military officer in a year. Investigators say Ukraine may be behind the attack. The head of the Operational Training Directorate of the Russian Armed Forces, Lieutenant General Fanil Sarvarov, died from his injuries. Officials saying they are pursuing numerous lines of inquiry regarding the matter. One of those is that the crime was orchestrated by Ukrainian intelligence services. Since Moscow sent troops into Ukraine nearly 4 years ago, Russian authorities have blamed Ukraine for several assassinations of military officers and public figures in Russia. Ukraine has claimed responsibility for some of them. It has not yet commented on Monday's death. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov saying that President Vladimir Putin had been immediately informed of Sarvarov's killing. The defense ministry saying that he had previously fought in Chechnya and taken part in Moscow's military campaign in Syria. The Danish Foreign Ministry saying today his country insists that everyone, including the United States, must respect the territorial integrity of the Kingdom of Denmark after U.S. President Donald Trump announced the appointment of a special envoy to Greenland, who said his goal would be to make the territory part of the U.S. Greenland's Prime Minister said that the territory is happy to cooperate with other countries, including the U.S., but stressed that, quote, "we decide our own future." Denmark's foreign minister said in later comments to Danish broadcasters that he plans to summon the U.S. ambassador. Trump called repeatedly during his presidential transition and the early months of his second term for U.S. jurisdiction over Greenland a vast semi-autonomous territory of Denmark. He's not ruled out military force to take control of the mineral-rich, strategically located Arctic island. In March, Vice President J.D. Vance visited a remote U.S. military base in Greenland and accused Denmark of underinvesting there. The issue gradually drifted out of the headlines, but in August, Danish officials summoned the U.S. ambassador following a report that at least 3 people with connections to Trump had carried out covert influence operations in Greenland. Denmark is a NATO ally of the United States. A Pakistani court convicting and sentencing imprisoned former Prime Minister Imran Khan and his wife Bushra Bibi on Saturday to 17 years in prison after finding them guilty of retaining and selling state gifts. The couple pleaded not guilty when they were indicted last year. They were accused of selling the gifts, including jewelry from Saudi Arabia's government, at prices far below their market value while he was in office. Prosecutors say Khan and his wife declared the value of the gifts at a little over $10,000, far below their actual value of $285,521, allowing them to purchase the items at a reduced price. Khan's lawyer said that he would appeal the ruling on behalf of the former premier and his wife. Under Pakistani law, for government officials and politicians to keep gifts received from foreign dignitaries, they must buy them at an assessed market value and declare any proceeds earned from selling them. And the U.S. Coast Guard pursuing another sanctioned oil tanker in the Caribbean Sea as the Trump administration appeared to be intensifying its targeting of such vessels connected to the Venezuelan government. The pursuit of the tanker, which was confirmed by a U.S. official briefed on the operation, comes after the U.S. administration announced Saturday it had seized a tanker for the second time in less than 2 weeks. The official, who was not authorized to comment publicly about the ongoing operation, speaking on condition of anonymity, saying Sunday's pursuit involved a sanctioned dark fleet vessel that is part of Venezuela's illegal sanctions evasion. The official said the vessel was flying a false flag and under a judicial seizure order. The Pentagon and the Department of Homeland Security, which oversees the U.S. Coast Guard, deferred questions about the operation to the White House, which did not comment on the operation. Saturday's pre-dawn seizure of a Panama-flagged vessel called Centuries targeted what the White House described as a falsely flagged vessel operating as part of the Venezuelan shadow fleet to traffic stolen oil. The Coast Guard, with assistance of the Navy, seized a sanctioned tanker called Skipper on December 10th, another part of the shadow fleet of tankers that the U.S. says operates on the fringes of the law to move sanctioned cargo. It was not even flying a nation's flag when it was seized by the Coast Guard. And 9 people have died and at least 10 others were wounded after a group of gunmen carried out a shooting at a South African pub during the early hours of Sunday. The incident occurred just before 1 a.m. in a town just about 28 miles west of Johannesburg. It is the second mass shooting in South Africa in 3 weeks. About 12 unknown suspects in a white minibus and a silver sedan opened fire at the pub. Police say of the incident that nine people died and 10 are hospitalized, and that some victims were randomly shot in the streets by unknown gunmen. The acting provincial commissioner, telling the Associated Press that some of them, the gunmen some of them had an AK-47 and several had 9mm pistols. Police did not release information about the victims, but police confirming that an e-hailing driver was among those caught in the fire, saying the driver had just stopped to drop off a client. In sports, the Bahamas Lawn Tennis Association crowning 2 new national champions Sunday, and now have half of the teams that will represent the Bahamas at next year's Davis Cup and Billie Jean King Cup tournaments. On the men's side, Gerald Carroll winning his first senior national title, taking down Michael Major Jr. in straight sets, 7-5, 6-0, in a matchup of 2 teenagers. In the women's championship, the number 2 seeded Simone Pratt reclaimed the national title. She last won 2 years ago, beating the youngest athlete in the women's draw, Pratt winning in straight sets 6-3, 6-4 over 14-year-old Addison Monroe. You can read more about it in today's Guardian Sports section. The local track and field season officially underway. Hundreds of youth, junior, and senior athletes got an early start at the B3A's odd distance track and field meet at the original Thomas A. Robinson Track and Field Stadium Saturday. The unconventional meet used as a barometer in most cases for coaches to get an early glimpse of their athletes, featuring the return of a number of junior standouts and senior athletes starting their journey towards what they hope will be productive seasons. All the details in today's Guardian Sports section. And the Bahamas Baseball Association is set to make history with the staging of the first BBA National High School Baseball Championship, scheduled for January 2nd through 4th, right here in New Providence. The landmark tournament will feature the top high school baseball programs from across the country competing for national supremacy at the Blue Hills Sporting Complex and the Andre Rogers National Baseball Stadium. The championships representing a major step forward for the BBA. What you need to know is in today's Guardian Sports section. From a big NFL sports weekend, the New England Patriots getting a 28-24 win over the Baltimore Ravens. They've clinched a playoff spot. Drake May guided New England to a pair of fourth-quarter touchdowns, rallying his team from an 11-point deficit to that win Sunday night, clinching a postseason spot for the Patriots and dealing a devastating blow to the Ravens' playoff hopes. 7 years after Tom Brady and Bill Belichick won their final Super Bowl together in New England, and 4 years after Belichick reached the finals with Mac Jones at quarterback, the Patriots returned to the postseason in May's second year. May throwing for a career best 380 yards and 2 touchdowns Sunday. Early in the day, a wild game between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Detroit Lions. The Steelers surviving a wild finish, pushing Detroit to the brink of playoff elimination and boosting their chances of winning their division for the first time in 5 years. Pittsburgh holding on for a 29-24 win over the Lions, when Jared Goff's touchdown on the final play was negated by an offensive pass interference penalty. The Steelers, 9-6, have won 3 straight after midseason slump, surging into the AFC North lead with 2 games remaining. Detroit falling to 8-7, dropping 2 straight games for the first time in more than 3 years, ending its outside shot to win a 3rd straight NFC North title. While the Lions haven't been eliminated from the playoffs yet, they have an 8% chance of earning a spot, according to the NFL. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. Your first look at weather brought to you by Star General. We've got a wind advisory in effect for the northern and northwest Bahamas. Plus, troughing associated with the remnants of a frontal boundary near the central Bahamas will continue to support periods of shower activity for the central islands today through tonight. Elsewhere, we're looking at mostly dry conditions as another weak cold front approaches from the north. Strong high pressure is going to build behind that front, and that's going to produce the strong to near gale force winds across much of the country through midweek. For today, though, there is a high risk of hazardous rip currents and rough surf conditions impacting Atlantic shorelines. Beachgoers and swimmers strongly urged to stay out of the water. And as we told you, as a result of the wind gusts possibly exceeding 35 miles per hour, residents across all areas are urged to secure or tie down light, loose objects and to drive carefully, especially along roads along northern and eastern shorelines. Small craft operators are strongly urged to remain in port as well, while beachgoers and swimmers should stay out of the water. So that all of that wind is going to mean coastal hazards. Is a risk of coastal flooding and beach erosion along northern and eastern coastal areas. Large overtopping waves and windblown sand is likely, and that could be dangerous as well. Everyone's being advised to exercise extreme caution, especially if you are in areas like Eleuthera and the Glass Window Bridge. For today, for the extreme northern islands, partly sunny today, becoming mainly fair tonight, only about a 10% chance of a light stray shower. For the rest of the northwest Bahamas, including New Providence, a mix of sun and clouds today, becoming partly cloudy tonight, a 10 to 20% chance of light stray showers. Partly cloudy to cloudy through to tonight for the Central Islands, with a 30 to 50% chance of scattered showers, and variably cloudy today, becoming mainly fair tonight for the southeastern islands, a 10 to 20% chance of isolated showers. Winds northeasterly at 20 to 25 knots with higher gusts for the northern half of the country. Northeast to east at 15 to 20 knots, increasing to 20 to 25 knots by late evening for the Central Islands. And northeast to east at 15 to 20 knots for the southeastern islands today. Look for high temperatures around 80, 81 Fahrenheit for most of the country, about 27 Celsius. A bit warmer for the southeastern islands, highs in the mid-80s, around 84 Fahrenheit, 29 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight for the top half of the country in the upper 60s, maybe touching 70 Fahrenheit, 21 Celsius. In the mid-70s for the central and southeast Bahamas, around 76 Fahrenheit, 24 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook coming up in just a bit. This weather check brought to you by Star General Insurance, made simple.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of
You are listening to Morning Blend. When we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on your home for fresh news and smart talk all day. Guardian Radio 96.9.
It's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Looking to elevate your gadget game, or are tech troubles simply slowing you down? Escape to a world of innovation at Custom Computers, your go-to store for the latest cutting-edge tech. Whether you need to upgrade your life with the best from Apple and Windows, or your device needs a little TLC, the Custom Computers Know-How Store is the destination for unbeatable expertise and quality repairs. With 2 convenient locations, there's a Custom Computers near you on Patton Street in Palmdale and Caves Village, or call 396-1100.
For fast, reliable, and impactful printing services, look no further. Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life. We stand by our quality products that is second to none. Our affordable pricing and friendly, efficient staff makes Printmasters the ultimate choice for all your printing needs. We can deliver any type of printing services, from banners to booklets to business cards. You name it, we can print it.
Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Step inside the John Baptiste Jazz Club at Bahamar, where the rhythm of the islands of the Bahamas meets the soul of New Orleans. Every night, the lights dim, the music swells, and the air fills with that unmistakable energy. The kind that makes you close your eyes and just feel. Savor signature cocktails, curated small plates, and live performances from world-class musicians, all in an intimate, artfully designed space where every seat has a story. Whether it's a romantic night out or a spontaneous evening with friends, this is where you want to be. The John Baptiste Jazz Club, only at Bahamar. Reserve your table now at bahamar.com/jazz club or through the Bahamar app, because every evening plays its own tune.
This Christmas, while we're wrapping gifts, preparing the ham, and celebrating with the people we love, let's also give ourselves a gift that lasts. At CFAO, we believe the best presents aren't found under the tree, they're built over time. A stronger pension, wiser investments, real financial peace. So whether you're just starting out or planning your next chapter, CFAO is here to help. This Christmas, give your future a little love with the help of CFAO. Growing wealth for future generations.
This Christmas, Everybody Wins Live is giving you a chance to win a gift of a lifetime. A brand new, fully deeded home. From November 21st to December 26th, every time you play $10 or more, you're one step closer to the keys to your future home. More play means more entries and more chances to win big. Play in-store or online today. This holiday, go beyond winning. Go home for the holidays only with Everybody Wins Live. Remember to game responsibly.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio. Streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and various apps that you can listen to us on. You can listen to us on your televisions on Cable Bahamas, Channel 969, and BTC Flow Channel 612, or tweet us, or BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us 422-4796. Standard text rates apply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, DeAndre Cartwright will be joining us. Also this morning, we're going to be talking with the Ministry of Health about their National Health Strategic Plan for 2026 through 2030. They launched this a few days ago, and we'll get some details about that and find out what exactly this plan entails. We're going to get into that this morning. That's all ahead, but right now, let's talk about what else is in the news. And in the news, some sad news in the papers today. The lead story in the Nassau Guardian: holiday tragedy, another tragedy in Long Island. This time a teen losing his life in a crash. Our Rachel Scott writing about it. So last Thursday afternoon, news of the passing of 16-year-old Amari Miller reverberated through the halls of Sims Clinic in North Long Island, bringing family, friends, and other community members who had gathered there to their knees. The heartbreak of an entire island was a testament to the impact he had made in a life that was cut short. It was report card day, and Amari's parents, Latoya Adderley and Alex Miller, had spent the morning beaming over their son's performance in their school term. He was an honor roll student in grade 12 at North Long Island High. So Adderley, this is the mother, Latoya Adderley, reflecting on their last conversation, saying, quote, "The day of his death, I had called him with his report card results and told him he'd won the most improved student in the entire senior school. He said to me, now that you're happy, Mommy, can I enjoy my Christmas?" I said, "Yes, baby, you can." But that wasn't meant to be. Police said Amari was on his motorcycle driving on Beach Lane as he approached Brenville's Road, the private residential road named after his grandfather. He collided with a white 2006 Jeep Wrangler that was heading west. So Miller, this is the father, said it was just before 1 p.m. when he received the distressing call, saying, quote, "I got a call from a person who hit him, telling me that he hit someone on a bike and he believed that they were dead." Wow. And I knew right then it was Amari because he had just passed me on the bike going through the road. Miller, his younger brother Cameron, and his father Brenville rushed to the scene where they found Amari unresponsive. Miller picked up his only child and placed him on the back of a truck, holding him as they made their way to the clinic. Miller said, quote, "I thought he was going to be okay because I heard a little groan here and there. The nurses took Amari as soon as the truck arrived at the clinic, and the doctor came shortly after. They worked on him," this is according to Miller, "worked on him for about an hour and 10 minutes. He said, quote, "The whole time I was going crazy because I didn't know what to think, what the outcome would be. And then after they pulled me and his mom into a room and they broke it to us that he didn't make it. And after that, it just wasn't real anymore right up to this moment. It isn't real." Wow, a member of Long Island Young Aviators, Amari had already been accepted to flight school. He was also a member of his school's band, the basketball team, and the Macnos Junior Sailing Club. He played Little League baseball and spent every summer and Christmas break working with his father, who owns a heavy equipment company, Amari's Trucking. Miller said he was, quote, "the perfect son. I couldn't ask for a better person to be a father to. He was everything. I had no flaws with him. He was well on the way to becoming something." Wow. There's a whole lot more on this in today's paper. This is very sad. Our condolences to the family, to the entire island of Long Island, and to everybody out there. Just, we see it. The streets are in a frenzy. Everybody's all excited, and people are doing some things. Be careful. Be careful. You might be a great rider, you might be the best driver, but there are the people out there who are being a lot less careful. Experienced quite a bit of that on the weekend myself. Seeing people making some very crazy choices. Again, prayers to everybody with that story. There's a whole lot more of it in today's NASA Guardian. Pick up a copy or read it on thenasaguardian.com. You can give us a call, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. You can call us toll-free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Very, very sad story there. Wow. All right, so there is quite a bit more in the news and some interesting stories I want to get to. And you can, again, keep calling, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. All right, so two interesting stories here. This is from the Tribune, and these are the stories we talked about quite a bit in the last year or so. Another arrest made in barge looting probe. So this says another arrest has been made in the fallout from the mass looting of a container barge that ran aground off Avico last month, as police continue to track goods believed to have been taken from the stranded vessel. Chief Superintendent Michael Thurston said an adult male from Blackwood, Abaco, was arrested on December 12th after officers recovered 6 tires suspected to have been stolen from the Brooklyn Bridge barge. The arrest coming as part of an investigation sparked by the grounding of the barge after its tow line snapped in severe weather, leaving it stranded on a reef near Nunjack Key, North Abaco, and exposing much of its cargo. The incident quickly drew national attention after widespread looting was reported. Trailer Bridge, the U.S.-based operator of the barge, later said that an estimated 90% of the containers were compromised following the grounding. The company also criticized what it described as a slow police response and rejected claims circulating at the time that residents were invited aboard to help lighten the load, calling those assertions entirely false. Police launched an investigation into the incident and established a special task force, which has already led to multiple charges. Last month, Darren Lightburn, Pharrell McIntosh, and Moselle Smith appeared before Assistant Chief Magistrate Ancella Evans after police alleged that they played roles in the looting. Lightburn and McIntosh are accused of stealing items from the grounded barge, while Smith is accused of receiving stolen goods. All three men have denied the allegations. They were granted bail, $30,000 each for Lightburn and McIntosh and $7,000 for Smith, and ordered to sign in at their nearest police station once a week. Police have not said whether further arrests were expected as the investigation continues. Boy, that was one of the big stories of the year. Deandra Cartwright joining us now. Good morning, Deandra. Great to have you with us.
Good morning, Dwight. Happy to be here.
As 2 days, two?
2 days?
3 days to Christmas. 3 days
yes.
to Christmas.
Listen, I had to catch myself on Saturday. Like, okay, I think this is the last time I'll be in studio for the... No, I'm back on Monday.
Yeah. and next Monday, too. Yeah.
No, I actually calculated that. So it's like, I don't get any... Do I get any days? I don't get any days off.
Oh, wow.
I need to talk to the manager. Where is the manager?
Yeah, good luck with that one. All right. Let's get your reaction to these stories, folks. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. This texture says here, avoid the area near the sports center, gridlock traffic there. Yes, it is part of the big event that happens every year. This is the Fox Foundation Christmas Drive.
Oh, it isn't only that. It's also gridlock right outside the station when I was pulling in. There's an accident.
Where's that?
Yeah, I don't know how it happened, but there's a car on top of the bush.
Like the roundabout?
Yeah, at the roundabout. So when you get off the roundabout, like to come through Carter here, on the side of that plaza where the bank used to be, there's a vehicle that's on top of the bush. I'm not sure about the state of the driver or the occupants, but a wrecker was blocking off traffic because they're redirecting.
Fantastic. Wow. If you've been around Oaks Field, you'd know that you'd have to be a complete lunatic or having a medical episode in order to end up on that roundabout.
Right.
So that doesn't...
Not on the roundabout. Right?
On the bush, on the roundabout.
No,
Where?
on the side of the bush that lines the plaza.
Oh, there. Well, that's even worse.
I'm
How?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. They're on top of the bush. Again, I'm not sure about the
What
state
type of vehicle?
Huh?
Hatchback?
It's a Honda.
Fit?
No, it's a sedan.
Oh,
I
Accord.
think it looks like a Civic. A four-door Civic. Yeah,
Sure.
but a wrecker was moving it, and I couldn't even get through to get here. That's what took me so long.
So this area is not going to be pleasant for you. Oaks Field and near the sports center.
Can't get
both
around.
areas will be a challenge for you at the moment.
And that traffic that's going around UB to get to University Drive there is not just starting right there. It's starting from Ponciana.
Yeah. So a lot of that's going to be because of the drive as well.
Oh, yeah. No, for sure.
So that is set to start at 8 o'clock, but people line up from very early to get there.
They gotta get with the things that they need.
Sure. Let's take this call. Good morning, call. You're on the air.
My brother Dwight, how are you, sir?
Doing well. Good morning.
Madam Cartwright, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm good. Well, I don't want to discuss any issues. I just want to wish my good friend Dwight, and the Guardian family at large, the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, a very happy holiday. I'm asking God for good health for all of us, especially Dwight, strong, so that he can do his job and with excellence. Sometimes he's a little bit biased. Myself and him don't always agree, but I still have to love him as a brother. I want to wish everyone under the song of my voice a happy holiday and have a beautiful one with your family.
Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Same to you. Merry Christmas. Looking forward to more arguments in 2026.
Discussions.
Healthy discussions in 2026. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas to you as well. Okay. Hey, let's take another call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Dwight. Good morning, Deandra.
Hey,
Morning.
good morning. How's it going?
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, season greetings and all.
Same to you.
Great. Listen, Dwight, I don't know how many years now the Fox Foundation has been doing this giveaway, but I found it though both degrading and demeaning. The way they have persons line up from 4 a.m. in the morning at the street block up for a $75 ticket.
Wow.
Like I gave them an idea a few years ago, I think it is more meaningful to persons if they can put those money into a non-profit food store where persons can benefit all year round, be able to eat, and they can actually shop comfortably to their leisure, not to have them lying off. In fact, I came across another accident right on Blue Road opposite AID. For the same thing, person tried to dive in and know the traffic, trying to get ahead of the line. You know, I think they need to find a better way to do it, man. You know, there's so many computers and so on that, you know, they can use to distribute your things in a more meaningful way, man. You know, I think they need to change that.
Sure. Thank you very much. Now, they don't make anybody line up at 4 o'clock, but people have decided that they want to be first in line. I don't know if they have to be there early. I don't know what would happen if they came at 10 o'clock. Would it be all gone? I don't know. But it starts at 8.
It might be. You wait too long.
But it's certainly not as bad as it when it first started. That was true chaos and blocking up the whole street. When did it
first start?
I don't know, but the streets were I couldn't get to work. The streets, they were in the street. Now they generally have people off to the side a bit.
Where exactly is it happening?
Surrounding the sports center.
Oh dear Lord!
So the line will.
I am so sorry for the people who are trying to get their car licensed.
No, that doesn't happen there anymore.
No.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, clearly,
but no one would be doing that when this is happening. Everybody would be in the line. This thing is huge. There are people that we've talked about it.
Sports center?
Where have you been? You don't know about this? Every year.
I make it a rule. I literally make it a rule for my family and my friends. You will not see DeAndre on the road during the holidays. Like, I really try to stay inside. Mm-hmm. Like, usually gifts and everything are delivered. Any baking I've done, it's already, like, you've already gotten it. Either I've dropped it or you've collected it. I despise holiday traffic.
So one of the worst years, the entrance, so you know the main entrance to the sports center, which is on University Drive.
Yeah.
One year was snaked around from there all the way past the Hope Center and by the baseball stadium.
Okay.
And back on to Tawny Quims, Harold Road, whatever, and pretty much down to the roundabout where Mile Butler Highway is. That's how bad it was in one of the early years. It isn't as bad as that anymore, but it has been.
To be fair, this is only my third Christmas at home, in like the last 10 years. So I've been able to avoid it. But when I saw that this morning, like I was like, thank God it didn't come that way because I wouldn't have still been here. But Dwight, if I can just go back to Amare. I personally want to extend my condolences to the family. I've already spoken to his mom, obviously, and some of his friends, which includes my baby sister. It is indeed a tragedy. It is something that has been rocking our community. Actually, in fact, we've had back-to-back accidents on Long Island involving young men recently. But Amare was a very mannerly, well-behaved young man, literally. I got to spend some time with him at my baby sister's graduation party. And he was just so full of life. And I have to say this for my baby sister and the young people of Long Island don't understand it because this is something he always said, Machine Run Road. His father is a heavy equipment operator. He's grown up around those things. And so he was always fascinated about that. So he would like talk to you for as long as you would allow him to, about like the importance of heavy equipment, like about the different gears and things like that. He was involved in, and then to Mr. John Boone and the young aviators of Long Island, because he's also involved in that group too, to become a future pilot. Whoa. Right. He was involved also in Little League. So to Miss Felice Major and to all of the kids, they have a wreath down at Miller's Park in his honor or whatnot. Like, this is really hurting our community. So again, to all of his family, his parents, his baby sister, I think it is, all of his friends at North Long Island High and around the island, I am so sorry for your loss. And to our Long Island community, my thoughts and prayers are with us all right now.
Yeah. Wow. Very, very sad indeed. All right, so this texter is not related to that, but they're concerned. What is being done about the reckless motorbikes terrorizing our streets on Sunday nights? I was literally run off the street last night for hundreds of bikes that took over Blue Hill Road North.
Oh, they're coming from Blue Hill now?
They come from every direction. It's everywhere. It's all over.
Man, I thought the meetup spot, clearly I need to get out more. Maybe I don't want to, though. I thought the meetup spot was Gambia, and then they come to go over down to Fish Fry, so now it's changed.
That might still be happening. There are many different groups.
Or maybe they have more groups now,
Yeah.
because it used to be like they would all converge down Gambia and then come all the way down West Bay like it was a thing. So I don't... This is insane.
Yeah, it's all over. But
wow.
You know, I was at there was a roadblock
Lots of roadblocks
a couple days ago, and there was a guy.
Were you on a bike?
No, there was a guy on a bike heading in the opposite direction of me, and I
Right.
just passed the cops. I said, "Let me see what he's going to do," because of course he has no helmet on. Let me see what's going to happen here. I couldn't tell because I was driving. So,
Right.
but it looked like they stopped him, but I just suspect there's nothing much is going to come out of that. I mean, they probably just said, "Hey, you, what, you know?" And they're like, yeah, right? I mean, what were they going to do? And he's on a bike. It's not like they could go get him if he didn't stop.
Well, I mean, if he did, this is true. What type of vehicles did they run on their motorcycles? But then again,
What
their
type of what?
the motorcycles are bigger.
He had no helmet.
bulkier.
No helmet at all. There was nobody there with a bike. No cop. They were just standing there
Oh, they got dropped
causing
off.
traffic delays.
Oh, they got dropped off.
But no, they're outside the police station. They like to do that now. I guess
Oh.
they like to, whenever there's a police station, there's often a roadblock.
I mean, that's easy. Just
Yeah,
separate
it's very-
outside and you try to book somebody, man.
Sure. There you go.
Drive-through ticket. Hold on, sorry.
But yeah, I mean that's the thing. So plenty of people here don't feel they need to obey the traffic laws,
I mean, there are
Nothing-
lots
nothing
of
much.
laws that are broken on a daily
especially
basis.
traffic laws, and there's no consequences. Oh well, yeah. Where's your
In
helmet?
addition to not having the helmet, it was the separate license that you have to have.
Like I said, I didn't see if they continued to pull him over, but
But if they're only standing there, how could they actually pursue if
That's
they
what I'm
needed
saying.
to?
That's what I'm saying. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. What say you? Are you there? Hi, good morning. Call us back, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. This texter says here, no police on the road to clear the traffic by the sports center. It's the
Oh,
same one said,
wow.
It was better organized
None?
last year.
Like none? I thought that should be mandatory, no?
By whom? What do you mean?
No, think about it. If you have a huge event, that should be a part of...
You want us to let's do it. Go to the break and go out there. I want you to see the chaos. It's
I
madness.
saw... No, well, let me go down that. But
Yeah,
then how,
yeah,
No,
yeah.
but Dwight, how we can get back?
We'll just have to do the show.
Oh, so
on
we're
the
gonna have a
phone.
remote.
We'll do the show on the phone.
Okay, so we could do...
We'll call in
No,
as we
can't
walk.
stress out our producer.
He'll be
Producer.
fine. He'll be fine.
Oh, come
He'll probably
on.
like us to be gone.
No.
But you need
talk
to
about
see
good
it.
producer
You need
like
to
that.
see it. It is quite a spectacle.
No, I don't want
And
to.
as like the previous caller said, but there were people. It used to be people lined up from 3-4 o'clock in the morning for something that starts at 8.
So you're telling me, right? And again, please.
If
take
you're out
my-
there, send us a picture. Send us a picture so we can
Yes,
see.
please, so Dwight could show me,
yeah,
because
I'll look through my phone to show you some past years where I
Because
recorded.
like now, if you're saying it like
by a
that, that
long
means
line.
that I mean, obviously, I saw the traffic from Ponciana to University. That's like literally back to back, bumper to bumper. So now that also,
For all we know, that Honda Civic on the bush that you talked about was trying to get in the line.
Maybe,
you know,
it's quite
just
possible.
how this works.
And then, well, that's probably why the people didn't want to let me out. They were speeding around a roundabout. Okay,
you need to get
so
with it.
it's also that 4-way by where that was Clarence A. Bain building used to be. So that means that's also blocked
Oh,
up. That
yeah.
also means that
That's chaos
university
gonna be there.
coming from Ministry of Education is blocked up. Oh my gosh, are we prisoner in this? Can I escape this area? Does that mean I have to get west to get back east? Like
You got to go.
Nassau Street to get back
Okay, so this
downtown?
is from 2022. 2022. This is how bad it was. 2022.
Yo, no.
This is on my way in that morning.
No.
Right? That was wrapped around the stadium.
They're
see
parked
here they
in the
are,
middle of the road.
Well, yeah. So in the most recent years, the police were making them do that on the grass, not in the road. But there was the year before this, they were in the road. You had to like drive over the median to get away from this.
What?
And see, there's still some people in the road there.
Oh my gosh! And remind me, what is this like?
It's a Christmas thing.
For a
Christmas
toy,
giveaway.
or for toys, or for food.
As the previous caller said, you get a bag of maybe groceries and some stuff, coupons. Yeah. Caller, what say you? Good morning. You're on the air.
Hello.
Hi. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Mr. Strong. Good morning, DeAndre. Yeah,
Morning.
condolences to the young man that lost his life on a motorcycle. But, I just wanted to comment on you. Well, even though I have dubbed Aaron the traffic czar, right? Because I really couldn't wait to talk with her. But, I mean, I guess the texter had witnessed the same horror that I witnessed northbound and Blue Road. It's like, I don't mind the young guys on the bikes. They feel like Superman or this man, whatever man, right? But it's so much. But that's not even the problem. The problem is that they're prancing, and I saw one actually changing, like sitting down and standing up and doing all manner of things while he's prancing. So, I guess he's made out of iron. But, they're not only lacking no license, they have no sense, no plates, and no insurance. And so that's the danger of it. And when they run into your vehicle, so the question then becomes, what are we paying the imbecilic governments for if we can't be protected on the streets and nowhere? It's like we're being bananarized and people's putting a veil over our eyes. We're living through this is ridiculous, Mr. Strong. Imagine people who are older than me. And this is not late, this is like around like 9:30 or maybe 9 o'clock. And so we're being ostracized and nothing is being done, and they've left us to defend for ourselves. So I'm wondering if it's better to be like the Wild Wild West, and then maybe we respect one another, because there is a culture of disrespect. And it's really ridiculous, man, northbound. It's like, it's maybe like they could have been at least put 100,000 in traffic fines last night, because the amount of imbeciles is really unacceptable. It's ridiculous, man.
And you got to calculate that again? That sounds like a good part.
And they're blowing, and they Port Ski is right there. I used to, at least my brothers had bikes. I particularly don't like them, Mr. Strong. You could reach where you're going in a hurry, but I know why I'm afraid of bikes, because I know what they have done to my brothers, and I know I used to be on them, and I just know what can happen. I've seen so too much for them. I'm sorry, the young cats, them think they're invisible, man, and they're invincible. Give thanks.
Yeah. Thank you very much. And I think that's the only thing we're going to have to do, right? Because I think we all know people who are bike riders, and we're going to have to make an appeal to them. They won't listen, but you're going to have to. That's the only way it's going to work. It's going to be, yes, the traffic police need to do more, but it is challenging. They're on a bike. They can get away easily and sneak in places, sneak under places, on top of places. But we are going to have to appeal to the people we know who love bikes, that this is not working. This is chaotic. You're making people uncomfortable, nervous.
Very
people
dangerous.
can't focus when they see 10 bikes, 20 bikes coming at them, doing all those stunts. They don't know what's going on, and you're putting yourselves in danger. Maybe the people who've been injured need to speak out more as well. Like, hey, guys, look what happened to me. I lost my leg. I can't walk. I can't do anything. If we could see billboards and hear them all the time, that might make a big difference. Yeah. But unfortunately, with this is you won't listen till you feel type thing, Mm-hmm. Very sad. Tech caller, we'll get to you in a second. This person says here, for some reason, the motorbike club no longer comes along Adelaide Road. Every Sunday night, you would hear a roar coming a mile away. They're different clubs. There are many different ones, different people in different areas. There was a Harley one, but there's some other ones.
I was just going to say,
plenty
I saw some
others.
of the bigger ones with actual leather jackets on them.
Yeah.
Like, guys, we live in the Bahamas. Are you not hot?
Yeah, those are... Well, if you fall and you're wearing your leather jacket, you're less likely.
Fall.
Yeah, less likely to be stripped of all your skin.
Right. No, but this is daytime.
Maybe the breeze will cool you down. I don't know.
But they were actually driving at a reasonable pace. So.
Okay.
Like, I think I could have jogged to keep up with them. And that's saying
This is in
something.
a dream you had, or this is a real thing?
In
What?
real life, Dwight, are you
Okay.
saying I can't run?
I don't know.
Are you trying to say?
About in a,
Wow.
No. I don't mean that part. I mean like that they were at a traveling at a reasonable speed.
Yeah, no, but this is like actual like the Harleys, like the bigger ones,
Okay.
not the dirt bikes. Because I think that's also like we need to
Well,
distinguish between the different
Well,
types
the
of
Harleys
bikes.
just like to make noise.
Right. Yes. So it's
that's,
bigger.
yes, it's just
Okay.
very
So
loud.
it's noise with the bigger bikes.
I
They can't
guess.
move fast.
Right,
And then
I don't know
the
what,
smaller
but they're
ones
just
also
extremely
make
loud.
noise, but they move faster. And there tend to be more of them.
No matter what it is, unless it's a tricycle, it's chaos. It seems.
And I see a
Regis.
bicycle carrying on by in a minute.
You won't. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Dwight and guest.
Deandra, yes.
I have been in an accident on what the road name? Blake Road on Bay Street, waiting on a speed cop or police, anybody to come. But a lady ran up in the back of me. Right been there on that traffic. I've been waiting for like 3.5 hours.
This morning?
Out of that 3.5 hours, we counted 18 police cars pass us, and not one of them would even stop and say what happened, and they just drive past with their head up. How are we running this country, Dwight?
Wow.
I mean, you know, there's to be on the traffic just waiting 3.5 hours and not a patrol. Nobody would come. All they want to find out if anybody injured in the vehicle. I say no. The car marked
Maybe that's
it
the
up.
first mistake.
Yeah.
You got to say yes, and then they'll come.
That's what it seems like it got to be. How are we running this country the way? I mean, and they have a new commissioner of police, and they're doing the same thing the old commissioner of police do. They don't change nothing. They are inefficient. We just paying these people for nothing. You can't have people sitting on for 3.5 hours. Maybe if I was an MP, they would have come much faster, or one of their friends. But it's terrible. 3.5 hours in the traffic just waiting to get the police to write up a report. And finally, when they did write up the report, you got to wait another 3-4 months before you can even get the report. It's terrible in this country.
We
Thank
feel
you
your
very
pain.
much, Dwight. I
Yeah,
just
thank
want to
you.
vent about that.
So sorry you had to go through that, but that is a common thing. Thank you very much. Yeah, someone's sending us some videos of the.
So that's on
of
the opposite
long
side
line.
now, going over to the highway.
This looks like where the bikes are.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
so
It's
they would've
like,
gone
so
through there.
you're blocked all around. Oh, I'm so sorry for anybody who got to go in that area.
Avoid all of Oaksfield and anywhere near the sports center
Oh,
this morning.
But speaking about a police report, that's actually a pretty good. Let me write that down. Because that same accident where the 17-year-old who had just gotten the license that hit me because he was overtaking, and I never got the report. Went to go check on it like 3 weeks later. Still no report. They had no mention of the accident inside the system, actually. And so I had to give them the paper that I received on the day of to see what they would do. They didn't find anything. I was like, okay. So now that's a nice reminder. Let me go see if the report is actually there, because you
You
can't.
want to do that before Christmas? I mean, that's just going to ruin your.
No, I mean, so the thing is I have no expectations because they say about 3
Might
to
as
4
well
months.
do that after Christmas.
You think so?
Just to not get yourself worked up.
They go, the reality is, I mean, it's so sad that we have to accept inefficiencies. I just don't understand it. And then from the little bit of information that I am aware of, because you have reserve officers allegedly helping do the work of the actual officers, allegedly, in certain cases, and that's why it slows down. Guys, we all have to pull our weight. We all have to do our job, and if we are understaffed, like, we need to look at these things. I don't know exactly what it is, but do we have an efficiency rating of some kind within the police force? Maybe inside that particular department, because I don't know anybody who's had a positive experience with the traffic police and road traffic or anything like that. I've never met somebody.
Going to go to the news in just a second. This text says here, my cousin left the house from 10 o'clock last night to sleep at the stadium for the Fox Foundation event.
This is a joke, right?
That's probably not a joke. It's very sad. Wow. Think of the impact this has on accident emergency due to the reckless behavior by motorcyclists. But not just them; it's the drivers. I mean, the things I saw yesterday. I took a picture of her car. This very stupid woman who tried to do, I don't know what she was trying to do, but she really nearly caused an accident. And for us to pull up side by side at traffic, right? Like you did all that to get nowhere in front of me. You almost crashed into me, going 100 miles per hour. And now we're looking at each other in bumper to bumper traffic. What was the point? And she kept turning her head away, of course, because she was embarrassed, because she's stupid.
She was trying to get one car ahead.
She wasn't. We were side by side. And then I passed her.
Oh, God.
We got to go to the news. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
That we made.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com, and you can listen to us on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us 422-4796. And now at 8:21, time for another check of your weather, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams. So we've got a wind advisory in effect for the northern and northwest Bahamas today. We'll tell you more on that in just a bit. Troughing associated with the remnants of a frontal boundary near the central Bahamas will continue to support periods of shower activity over that part of the country today through tonight. And conditions will remain mostly dry as another weak cold front approaches the northern Bahamas. Meanwhile, strong high-pressure building behind that front will provide strong to near gale-force winds across much of the country through midweek, heading into Christmas Day. So dangerous beaching and boating conditions are expected to continue through the remainder of the week due to strong winds and lingering swell conditions. That front that's going to move through will move into the southeast Bahamas by late Tuesday into Wednesday, bringing a few showers to the area before moving out of the area by late Wednesday. Then another weak reinforcing front, accompanied by a drier air mass, will move into the region during Christmas and Boxing Day. And that's going to keep rain chances very low for the latter part of the week. Ahead of that, though, we have to deal with the high risk of rip currents and rough surf conditions impacting Atlantic shorelines. And the wind hazards, wind gusts possibly exceeding 35 miles per hour. Residents across all areas urged to tie down light or loose objects in your yards and to drive carefully, especially along roads along northern and eastern shorelines. Small craft operators are strongly urged to remain in port as well, while beachgoers and swimmers should stay out of the water. There is a risk of minor coastal flooding and beach erosion along northern and eastern coastal areas, large overtopping waves and wind-blown sand likely, and that could prove hazardous to motorists and pedestrians. Everyone's being advised to exercise caution, especially if you're in Eleuthera near the Glass Window Bridge. So for today, various conditions across the country. You're going to see partly sunny today for the northern islands, but a mix of sun and clouds for the northwest Bahamas, partly cloudy to cloudy for the central islands, and variably cloudy for the southeastern islands. The greatest chance of rain in the central Bahamas, 30 to 50% chance of scattered showers. The northern half of the country going to be seeing high temperatures around 80, 81 Fahrenheit, 27 Celsius. And for the central and southeast Bahamas, look for highs in the low to mid 80s, around 83, 84 Fahrenheit, 28, 29 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight for the top half of the country, around 70, 69, 70 Fahrenheit, 21 Celsius. The mid 70s for the central and southeast Bahamas, 76 Fahrenheit, 24, 25 Celsius. For extended outlook, Tuesday, tomorrow, partly cloudy to cloudy. Still an elevated chance of rain for the central and southeast Bahamas. About 20 to 30% chance of showers with possible thunderstorms. Wednesday, partly to variably cloudy for your Christmas Eve. A 10 to 20% chance of showers. Christmas Day, a mix of sun and clouds. 10 to 20% chance of showers. And Boxing Day, again, a mix of sun and clouds with a 10 to 20% chance of showers. That's your morning blend weather check. Brought to you by Sherwin-Williams. And day 11 of their crisp, massive 12 days of deals. Today, 15% off all spray paints at Sherwin-Williams. And time for traffic, brought to you by RBC. With RBC, your ideas happen here. All right, so we've got a lot to talk about in traffic, a lot going on this morning. We're getting reports of traffic accidents, fender benders. A lot of this happening around the Oaks Field Big Pond area. There's a big event happening at the Sports Center. That is causing some major delays. You want to avoid this area if you can. Anywhere near University Drive, Blue Hill Road, anywhere near the Sports Center. Basically, avoid the area if you can. We're seeing heavy traffic right now on Big Pond Highway, as many call it. That's University Commons as well, especially westbound. University Drive, north and south of that intersection there, you're going to be seeing traffic in multiple directions. This is spilling over onto Blue Hill Road as well. So we've got reports of accidents. That's snarling the traffic as well, in addition to the heavier loads. That's part of the island. So that is going to be near Celery Drive. You're going to be seeing very slow, backed up traffic there. Blue Hill, north of that area, there is an accident that is causing some problems near Coconut Grove Avenue. And again, this is going to be backed up as people try to get onto Cordo Avenue. Cordo Avenue looking very awful. Avoid that area if you can. And that's causing delays on Market Street as well. Not looking pretty. Then there's Poinciana Drive. Heavy traffic for you there. Mainly westbound, but also some slow-moving eastbound traffic as well. And all along Wolf Road, extending all the way up to Soldier Road, you're not going to be having a great experience if you're in that part of the island. Back to the Sports Center again. You're going to be seeing this on Sports Center Road. You're going to be seeing it on Bahamas Games Boulevard and University Drive. The heavy traffic and long lines this morning. Elsewhere, the usual hot spots are still hot. Prince Charles Drive at the major intersections, Blue Hill Road near Carmichael, and north of that area as you make your way to Independence Drive. Seeing some slow-moving traffic as well. Good luck this morning, and be careful out there. That's your real-time traffic and your morning event traffic alert. Also brought to you by NUA Insurance Agents and Brokers. Need cover you can count on? Well, you can buy motor insurance your way. Stop by your nearest branch or visit nuainsurance.com. Simple, secure, and ready when you are.
No one likes a fender bender.
Oh, man.
From a little scratch to a full mashup, NUA Insurance has got you covered with auto insurance tailored to fit your needs and budget. For affordable rates with free on-site accident assistance, visit us online or in branch and just ask us. NUA Insurance. Ask us because we've got you covered.
In the world of business, technology is not a choice, it's a necessity. And for businesses that demand excellence, there's only one choice for unparalleled support and cutting-edge technology. Custom Computers. You have challenges and we have solutions. Computing, networking, storage, and printing for enterprises large and small, aligned with premium brands like HP, Microsoft, Konica Minolta, and more. Get tech done the right way with Custom Computers. Call the know-how team at 396-1101.
This New Year's Eve, Bahamar invites you to experience a night where luxury meets pure island energy. A night designed for those who want to welcome 2026 in unforgettable style. On Tuesday, December 31st, the party ignites on the shores of Cable Beach with dazzling entertainment, premium open bars, gourmet food experiences, and a midnight fireworks spectacular lighting up the sky. And headlining the celebration, one of the biggest names in global music, Grammy Award-winning superstar Sean Paul, live at Bahamar, bringing an explosive performance that will carry you into the new year with non-stop vibes. Indulge in the taste of Bahamar Culinary Showcase, dance under the stars, and immerse yourself in the ultimate New Year's experience, all at the Caribbean's leading luxury resort destination. Make this your most iconic New Year's Eve yet. Secure your tickets now at bahamar.com/events. Bahamar, life spectacular.
Tis the season for dreams to come true. There's Santa for the kids and CIBC Caribbean for you. Whether it's a house, land, vehicle, or upgrading your home, CIBC Caribbean can support your dreams with the financing you need. Enjoy incredible cashback deals with mortgages and land loans. Plus, your approved loan gives you a chance to win up to US $5,000. Apply now at www.cibccaribbean.com/sweeten the season. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you searching for something new? Something exciting? Your dream job in paradise? Well, look no further. Royal Beach Club Paradise Island is hiring. Join a dynamic group of passionate hospitality professionals, craft unforgettable moments, and thrive in a vibrant, welcoming atmosphere. Play your part in shaping the future of our team while growing your own career every day. Bring your energy, your passion, and your creativity to a workplace that's as dynamic and fun as you are. At Royal Beach Club Paradise Island, the opportunities don't just exist. They're limitless. So are you ready to find your perfect fit? Visit Royal Beach Club at paradiseisland.com/career today and step into a world of exciting possibilities.
Looking for insurance that fits your lifestyle and your budget? At Star General Insurance, we've got you covered. Whether it's motor insurance with flexible options for third-party liability and comprehensive coverage, or commercial insurance products that protect your business, we have choices you can afford. Own a home or renting? Our home insurance products have just what you need. And for the adventurers out there, we offer marine insurance too. Visit our website or social media pages for contact information and quotes. Star General, insurance made simple.
Have you heard about Janae's Chesapeake Road's 5 days of Christmas give back? Get up to 20% off your toys or bicycles, electronic ride-on cars, four-wheelers, and motor tricycle purchases. All electrical item sales are final. Bring in a current year Janae's back-to-school purchase receipt, valued more than $50 excluding VAT, and get an additional 10% off. Restrictions apply. And don't forget the Christmas decorations, balls, and ornaments. Janae's Chesapeake Road's 5 days of Christmas give back going on now. Extended store hours till 7 p.m. Hurry in and get more bang for your bucks.
Mom, the Christmas cookies are ready. Leave them right here under the tree for
For Santa or for CIBC Caribbean?
'Tis the season for dreams to come true. Whether it's a house, land, vehicle, or upgrading your home, CIBC Caribbean can support your dreams with the financing you need. Enjoy incredible cashback deals with mortgages and land loans. Plus, your approved loan gives you a chance to win up to US $5,000. Apply now at www.cibccaribbean.com/sweeten the season. Terms and conditions apply.
Sherwin-Williams Bahamas doesn't mess about when it comes to product range and product knowledge.
If it's a new product come in the store, we walk the store and study that product.
One thing with our boss, if a new product comes in, he takes the time and he's always keeping us up to date with product knowledge. And we just had 9 weeks of different products that we had to study, and we had exams at the end of each product.
Yeah.
The only way we could sell the product effective, we have to know that product. Yeah, that helps us to relate to our customers. It gives us better knowledge to know what product to introduce to them. You understand? So we can know what product to give them to use and what product not to give them to use. So product knowledge is really key in Sherwin-Williams.
They got the keys. And the key is the product knowledge that comes with our extensive product range at Sherwin-Williams Paints, Bahamas. Find color in every day.
At Cleveland Clinic, care is everything. So when your primary purpose is to care for the world, you'd start with your community until you're accessible anywhere. You make complexities your specialties and put compassion before anything else, all to redefine what's possible. For everyone, everywhere. For every care in the world. Cleveland Clinic.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost nipping at your nose, Yuletide carols being sung by choir, and folks dressed up like Eskimos. Everybody knows a turkey and some mistletoe help to make the season bright. Tiny tots with their eyes all aglow will find it hard to sleep tonight. They know that Santa's on his way.
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Andrew Cartwright on this Monday before Christmas. Just a few days to go. All right, so we're getting a reaction to all of it. Lots of messages about the traffic and people behaving very badly on the streets. Lots of fender benders. People just squeezing their big, stupid vehicles into the tiniest spots. I wish I would stop if people would stop being stupid. But anyway, crazy things happening and lots. So as we told you, there's a lot going on this morning, but people making it worse by trying to get to places in a hurry. Why? What's your problem? What's your issue? It's already 3 days before Christmas. Calm down.
But it's going to continue that way. Dwight, have you ever been in the mall on a Christmas Eve? Have you ever been?
At gunpoint. I think one time I had to go in there for an emergency. Nothing to do with Christmas. It's just like this thing broke and I need to get in here and get it, which is terrible. Things like to break around Christmas. I don't know what that's about. Why?
I'm knocking on wood. I hope my gas lasts because I have a couple batches of cookies I need to be making, and all I can think of is like, can I get a gas company to come here to refill me, or do I have to tote that thing? No, can't do it.
Are you waiting for it to go? You could get it topped off, can't you?
No. That's what I have planned. I have like a list of things to get done this week. It's just that I want to start baking like after the show. So, but no, like
don't forget to drop off the batch here.
Oh yeah, this is true, ladies and gentlemen. I think once before the toffee cookies, I think it was at one point. One of our guests who came back, they were like, "Are there any more? Did you make any more?" I was like, "That was crazy." But no, Dwight, I had to go into on Christmas Eve last year because my nephew had forgotten to get a gift, and he was intent on getting it from this one store in the mall. I promise you. I feel like it took like an hour just to find a parking spot. It was like bumper to bumper humans in the mall just to get in. And the lines were incredible. And then you couldn't get any type of attention. And speaking about attention, I was actually at the mall because I told him, I was like, dude, we getting this done way ahead of time. We're going to do it in the middle of a weekday work day so that I don't have to deal with all the humans after work and stuff like that, which it was pretty empty. It was pretty cool. We got it done. However, it's almost as though some of the clerks, you're bothering them. I felt like we were bothering them with our needs, and I was like,
"Is it not like that normally?" It feels like that in March.
I feel like in this particular store, which is a beautiful store that a lot of people like, that I won't call the name of. You have to spend a few $100s, I guess, for them to feel some type of way.
Ooh.
And I'm like, my guy, your items range from $10 or less, straight up to thousands of dollars. Yes, but all of your customers are equally important, I would think. But then also you are literally teaching a child, a teenager, that treatment in the service industry is horrible. Like, come on, guys.
Based on how much you're spending. Yeah.
I was like, come on. Listen, and then I had
that's been from the beginning of time.
I tried to let him do it on his own, and then I had to get involved with it all like that. And like, it's almost like the treatment changed immediately. Yeah. I was like, come on, guys. Why do I have to do that?
Write down the name of the company. If they advertise with us, then I will tell you, forget it. But if they don't.
They have a huge spread inside.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely based.
No, but I find like a lot of because it's the reality is that I know, like, with this Christmas rush, we want to, because we see the consumer, right? We see the consumer that is trying to last minute buy gifts. And during the break, we were talking about the reality is some persons cannot afford to buy their gifts ahead of time. So they have to wait until the last minute when they get paid to try to bring a happy Christmas to their loved ones. That's understandable. We also, I think, forget in this conversation to talk about the companies and how they treat their clients in some cases. Not all of them, but some of them, it's almost just like you're doing a favor. No, you are delivering a service. You are selling a product to your client. Come on, guys. Like, let's just be nice, because they can take their business elsewhere. But then, anyway.
Let's take this call, and then we'll get to your text messages. And there's one other story we want to get to. Caller, good morning. You're live on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight. How you doing?
Doing well. Good morning.
Hey, Chief. Hey, I don't think you really explain to the public the severity of this traffic. You know, you realize this traffic to get to the sports center is. I'm actually passing the Barnabas Church, right? Now passing bargain wholesale traders, right, on Wolf Road. Mm-hmm. And the traffic is there. Yes, to get to the sports center.
Are you trying to get to the sports center?
And Wolf Road is?
Yeah, anywhere that leads to there is bad. Are you trying actively to get to the sports center? Why are you doing that?
Well, no, I'm trying to get there. I go in the opposite direction, but I let you know the severity of the traffic getting there.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. What they giving away so? They giving away goalie.
I don't know, but the people are trying to get there.
And second thing, right? You could please tell shoppers, right? I was by the mall day before yesterday, right? And a lady, she had half her body inside the box trunk of her car, sorting out whatever gift she had in the box trunk of her car. I 100% sure she wasn't aware of her surroundings or nothing. And these people keep on doing this. Mm-hmm. All I do is shaking my head. These people can't be serious. They asking to get robbed.
People have lost their senses, definitely. Thank you very much for the call. Again, if you don't need to be on the streets, don't do it. Don't do it. Today is not the day. Definitely not this hour. It's not pretty out there. This. We don't see this even when schools are in. I mean, this is wow. I imagine tomorrow. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
I don't want to imagine tomorrow.
Hello.
Hi. Good morning.
Morning. How are you?
Doing well.
Yes, I have a concern about the same traffic situation. I was driving in the opposite direction. I do appreciate people giving out things to persons who are in need or want to do good deeds, but this is an annual thing, and I feel as though they need to do it maybe like on a weekend, like a Saturday, but you have people trying to get to work. I mean, it's horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, I don't think it's any consideration because I had to get from one end to the there, and I had to, because I kind of know those areas, I could find strategic way to get around. I saw people in an area like where they probably was driving their kids all the way out west to go to school and stuff like that. I don't know, whatever. It's bad. They need to reconsider when they're doing this, not to do it on a Monday, but do it on a Saturday or do it at night, not on a work week when people trying to get to work. And some people, I didn't know that they were doing this, and I was just about to go on the roundabout by the sports center when I noticed the traffic. I had to make a quick turn around. I think it got to be some consideration for, everyday traffic. People trying to get to work. A lot of people are going to be late for work.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. A great point about the weekends. Not sure what this is. Why? I'm not sure why. But every year we're seeing this. In the most recent years, it seemed to be getting a bit better, but it looks like we're back to
square one.
Maybe. Again, if you're just joining us, you want to avoid the area anywhere near the sports center or any of the major roads that lead to the sports center. Those are going to be plentiful. But definitely University Drive, don't do it. Poinciana Drive, don't do it. Wolf Road, Blue Hill Road, don't do it. Cordo Avenue, nah. Big Pond Highway, also known as University Commons, not good. Sports Center Road, yikes. Don't do it.
Oh, gosh.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Avoid the area. Maybe call whoever it is, say, hey, I'll see you at 12. Yeah, maybe midnight. I don't know, but don't do it. Don't do it today. All right, let's get to your messages. And there's a story I want to read in the papers. This person says here, on the weekend, I witnessed what appeared to be two children on a motorcycle. The driver looked to be no older than 14, and the passenger about 10. No plate, no helmets. That's a typical day. Yeah, that's very scary. I apologize, but can anyone point to any appreciable change to road traffic under the new commissioner? Yikes. This is not acceptable. I do not accept that the commissioner is just another government employee who can't speak out without permission from the minister or prime minister. This silence and nothingness on the conditions on the road are not acceptable. Well, there is a head for the traffic division, and we don't hear much from him either these days. But yeah, something has to be done. Something has to be done. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have to do something about the bikes. Bikes are going to be the order of the day. What? We're going to have to do something. Bikes are going to be the order of the day. Too many cars, too much traffic. It's going to have to be addressed soon. Okay, so you're saying it's going to get worse with the bikes because you can't move in cars, and so more people will get bikes. Okay, I don't know about that one. I hear you, though. But that doesn't mean they need to be creating their own rules for the road. And that's what we've been seeing, and the stupid acrobatic stuff doesn't make any sense at all.
I'm going to get a bike.
You're going to get a bike?
I'm going to get a bike.
Right there. What are you going to do with it?
Ride it. Bike life.
Okay. Well, compounding the dilemma with the number of bike superstars on the road is that many of the younger trail bikers are wearing masks. That's not good. Okay, yeah. Where are the
on
traffic
a bike
police?
That's unlicensed.
No mask. They're wearing masks but no helmet.
Right, right. On a bike that's unlicensed and possibly uninsured. So
definitely uninsured.
Right.
What?
So you're literally a ghost.
That's how they like it. I agree with the texter. I was on Poinciana Drive on the weekend by UB when three young guys popping their motorbikes along the street towards traffic. I drive a right-hand drive and don't want to lose my life to a careless dope cyclist. What?
Dope cycles. What is that?
Dope cycle. Wow.
Maybe we don't understand the new talk.
I can figure it out. Where is the traffic police when you need them? The citizens have to negotiate their way through traffic. I had an experience on Blue Hill West by Carpet World 2 weeks ago due to an accident at the Soldier and Blue Hill intersection. Sat for 2 hours when citizens decided a plan to reverse one by one to get out of our destination. To get to our destination, they decided to reverse on the northbound. Wow, okay. It's a sad state we're in. No plans. Thank God for Jesus.
What? I'm not okay. Help me understand.
Well, that's an interesting.
Let me go make it. I need a cup of coffee. Let me go.
How are you making it? Well, thank God for Jesus. Okay.
I mean, yes.
Wow.
We're grateful to God. Yes. But the insanity on the road, I just don't. God helps those who helps themselves, and we need the police to help us to sort this out. Okay.
Good morning, Guardian Radio. Can you please ask the MP for Elizabeth to send a garbage truck to Meadows Drive off Joe Farrington Road? Many people living on the street have 4 garbage bins and all are filled and running over into the streets.
Oh.
It would be great if this could be addressed before December 25th, 2025. Please.
Which road again? What it called?
Meadows Drive.
Meadows Drive.
It says Meadows Drive Street. Can't be
Meadows Drive Street.
It
Can't be both, right?
No. Meadows Drive Street, Meadows Street, and off Joe Farrington Road. Well, please announce the above on your station because calling the Elizabeth office has gotten us nowhere. Thank you in advance.
Listen, we got to clean up the garbages. It's only going to get worse.
That's what we still do here. You call the MP for the garbage. Oh, okay, great show. Dwight 3 years ago had a newborn baby on those dirt bikes. What?
Sorry.
3 years ago, had a new baby born on those dirt bikes. Loud mufflers startled her. Oh, okay. We need some commas here.
Try it again.
So, 3 years ago, had a newborn baby.
Right.
And those dirt bikes with their loud mufflers startled her every time they passed until she hears them to this day. They scare her. Oh my.
Wow.
Oh my. Well.
Poor baby.
Yeah, they scare me too, so I don't know what that means, but it is something.
Then you're also poor baby Dwight.
Thank you so much.
We will protect you, Dwight.
The bikes and the big trailer trucks who like to blow their horn for every little thing for no reason.
Speaking of which,
can we take out the horn? Because we see them. You cannot miss them. But the big trucks, can we remove the horns from them? Because they don't need horns.
You know what? Can we actually tell the people who drive the big trucks? My guy, my guy or girl, whoever it is driving. Y'all need to keep space in between y'all's big.
They are terrorists.
And my small vehicle, and I am not even in a little car, so it's like
Let me tell you.
Like, how you on my bumper, bro? And you have air brakes. You need space.
We have an epidemic of people blowing their horns on you at the light when the light turns green, right?
Listen, that happened 3 times this weekend. I was like, the light just turned.
It barely turned green. So, but the truckers are among the worst offenders. And they don't have the little tiny Honda Fit horn. They got that, right? Sorry, I meant to do that so you all could understand how horrible it is to be sitting and then to hear that, right?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't get it. It happened to me this weekend. That's what I was like. And then the thing is that whoever this was in the burgundy color thing, I wish I got the plates, was
a big
riding
burgundy truck?
My bumper.
Yeah.
And I'm like, first of all, you shouldn't be through this road. And I saw another one actually through a road that they shouldn't be at. You know how much space you need to turn. You know you shouldn't be through smaller roads. Like, come on, man. Because if you, God forbid, if you knock down a power line.
They don't care.
I don't get it. I really don't get it. And then I still traumatized from that time. And I was out, that's Frank Watson Boulevard. I promise you, this big truck was going at least 60 to 70 miles an hour.
I don't believe
overtaking.
No, they're going 100, you mean?
Well, maybe that's what it was.
Because
all I know,
60
like
is
right there,
very slow for them.
Like all I'm just driving.
They do 60 in parking lots.
Like I'm driving, trying to be all safe and stuff or whatever, right? Like, hardly be no traffic out there. All I
120.
I felt it. I felt it coming behind me. I heard, like, you could feel the rumbling, right? I was like, that is a huge truck moving like that. I was like, dear God. And there were cars in the front of me. I was like, they pulled to the side because this thing was going to hit them. And I was like, how are we driving like this? Like, how is this okay?
Mm-hmm.
Boy. You know what? I need to become a passenger princess. That's what I need. I need somebody else to drive. Can I just want to start accepting applications.
You don't want to do that.
No,
because when you see other people when you're not driving and you see the stuff, you're like, you're like every 5 seconds. No, don't you watch out! So you don't want.
Put a pause
it's
on that.
Better for you to drive yourself. Yeah, no one telling you to watch out.
I have to be a strong, independent woman then. Okay.
This person says here, traffic is backed up to Wolf Road. Yep, it's bad, folks. Yeah. Now what is this? I can't read all this. Shit, I don't want to read this. Do I have to read this?
I mean, you could, but just make sure we don't get sued.
I don't understand. Why?
What?
Why is this? Not only the locals are breaking the law, I saw two lesbian women riding recklessly downtown by Junkanoo Beach yesterday. What? I don't know how you know this.
Like,
anyway.
how are you?
But,
are you
no.
like, I don't understand.
How would you know?
Like,
no helmet, and they also passed the police station without incident. They were tourists. Thank you for all the details for that text. Thank you.
Hater. Much?
Tell Deandra jump on an ATV and she should be fine.
By myself or with somebody else driving. So you say don't get the dirt bike. Don't get the dirt bike, get the ATV. They just as bad. And then but the difference is, and sorry I contributed to this garbage, you got to be in regular line. You can't cut through traffic inside no ATV. It ain't gonna work. And then you have special licenses. Only certain people supposed to be driving them ATVs.
Where?
In the first place.
In the Bahamas?
Yeah, on this island.
They shouldn't even be on the streets. They shouldn't be on the streets. We've been saying this for years.
I agree with you. That's not what they're made for. That's what they're supposed to be doing. I got you. But hey, this could cost me getting in trouble with some of the people who ride bikes. Not all bikes are created equal. So when you tell me you got a bike and I don't got no serious power, you mean serious. Come on, man.
What? Dwight, there's a 3-car collision on Mackey Street near Pinder's Custom Brokerage.
Oh, my Lord. And then that part right there is going to block up, too. All right, so how am I?
Every street.
I'm just trying to figure out how I get back.
You have to walk. Come back to the car.
I used to walk, but then I almost get teethed. Dwight, I can't do this. Listen, and I think I look extra cute today. It ain't work.
Okay.
Don't hear how he treat me. I ain't like that shit out.
This person says, why are Bahamians complaining about everything? Fox is assisting many underprivileged people, yet people that's not doing anything for anybody are finding time to chastise the ones that do. That's not what this is about. They are complaining because the traffic snarls. It is really unpleasant and uncomfortable out there. On top of already busy holiday drivers and shoppers who are causing lots of issues. So it's frustration. The people are very happy about whatever Fox is doing, but this is creating unnecessary heartache for people, right? This texter says, I'm offended with those prisoners who are allowed to have Junkanoo rush out at the prison. This is not what they went to prison for. This is really, texter? Okay. They have offended people and country and should not have such a privilege. This is bad. I was shocked watching the news the other night. Okay. Well, there are bigger things that you should be upset about. But I hear you. Interesting. Make them sit in traffic. What? Make the president sit in traffic.
I have thoughts about the restriction of rights of persons who are incarcerated, but I will not lecture today,
not today,
especially as somebody who is trained in the Nelson Mandela rules for incarceration, and as someone who is a human rights expert. Like, we could go down the list, but we don't have time for it today. Let's move on.
No, but I think it's a great topic. We should do this.
No, we
should
should definitely do that because I don't think I want us to develop a greater appreciation for what it means to be incarcerated, what should be happening, what are the true restrictions of rights, what are rights really that we are eligible for as everyday citizens who are not incarcerated, and then what does that look like when you are incarcerated, but what actually happens when you are incarcerated in this country.
to the texter or the caller who was saying that they should do this on Saturday. This person says that everything being done on Saturday automatically excludes the Adventists.
Well, then tell them put their things to the side then. No, we can't do something like that. They have a special list. Let's do that. Or do it after dark. Because I think they can move around after dark. I think that's how that goes.
The weekend is not an option. That's when busy people are trying to run errands and get as much done as possible. They simply need to be banned from manufacturing this massive gridlock. After years of suggestions, it's clear to me that they want this spectacle. I think they do like it. I do think so. It
is the
does look.
attention.
It gets right. Look what all the people are coming for us. So yeah.
Hey, would they say that bad press is good press or all press?
It's not bad. That's the thing.
That's not?
It's not
so
bad.
the fact that you... Okay.
I mean, people are complaining, but people are talking, right? People are talking about them. I don't think it's bad press at all. But it is not working. It is not working.
Definitely not working with all of this happening.
No. Thank you, DeAndre. Most of the bikes are not licensed nor insured. When they damage a car, nothing happens. Tell that texter that Jesus never had a car and wants us to not drive them. I don't know about that. It's a luxury, not a necessity. We all should be walking on gravel. Okay.
That's very...
I don't know. I don't know if that's accurate to say. We don't know. But
gravel.
Jesus might be quite proud of the advancements we've made in technology. But I'm sure he's not happy with the abuses and the excesses.
That's the thing, because also when we are given blessings, it's also about how are we using those blessings? Are we being good stewards with what God has given us, you know? Like we've got that lesson like how many times inside the Bible, especially through parables. How are you good stewards with what God has given you? So perhaps that is the way we could look at it. But the reality is when it comes to riding bikes, driving cars, or walking, unfortunately this island, because we have to stop saying this country, it's this island. Every island is different. This island is citified. Only certain parts of this island are cityfied, right? Is not kind to pedestrians. And I mean, that's just taking it out of the criminal context or the possibility that that's going to happen. But we are building walkways all over the place, but do we actually protect pedestrians? No. Do we have bike lanes? No, and I don't mean for motorcycles. I mean for actual bicycles, right? Which should also be licensed technically, right? We don't have bike lanes. People don't use those things. Like I remember years ago, I wanted to actually get a bicycle. I wanted to get a bike. I was like, okay, this would be healthy. It's a way to work out. I can get to work, get back, and whatever like that.
Ride
right?
to work?
Yeah. No. Again, I'm a unique individual, but it is what it is, right? I was told. I was like they were like we were going over the differences between riding the bike and getting a motorcycle because I've always wanted a motorcycle. To be quite honest, my mother is against this. Mommy, I know you listening. I'm sorry, but I still want the bike. Sorry. And I literally was told
a scooter.
No.
Oh, okay.
And then they were like, yeah, no, DeAndre, you can get knocked over. Like, you will get knocked over because also when you ride a bike, there are persons who are who literally are in competition with the people who are riding the bikes. So that's also another thing, too. So it's literally unsafe. No matter what you do, it's unsafe. It is what it is. So you just have to drive for you and the other drivers.
You could ride a bike around here for fun on the weekends.
Where?
But not to...
Where?
You wouldn't want to ride to work.
Where?
On a bike in this town. Good
yeah,
Lord.
no, that conversation was like,
Especially in
I
the
want to say
summer.
like 20 years ago.
Yeah,
I want to say like 20. That was 20 years ago.
Does your workplace have a shower?
Yeah.
Oh, because it's going to rain. You're going to get splashed.
Yeah, no, listen,
you're going
like,
to get sweaty. It's going to be awful.
We had all those conversations because it went from bicycle to motorcycle.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're like, yeah, no, you got to get a car. It's like, oh, shoot. Okay.
It would be nice. It would be a nice thought, but it's not.
No, so again, as somebody who has lived in other places around the world, right? I remember being at the UN, and one of my colleagues, still to this day, he rides a bicycle to work.
Sure.
But again, I go back to my initial point. Our city is not built for that.
Not built for anything.
Right.
It's
And
not
our
built for
society
anything.
isn't conditioned to support that type of thing.
Well, we don't have a planned city, right? It's chaos.
I was just going to say,
it's
even our
whatever you
roads, like do you know that some of the younger folk, and even some of the people my age don't know why some of the streets are so narrow. They're like, oh, it's so small. They were never built for cars, and they never got expanded.
Let's take these calls really quickly. We're running out of time for this segment. Caller, good morning. You're live on the air.
Hey, good morning, Mrs. Jordan. Great show again, man.
Good morning.
Yes, I came on late, but I'll tell you what, the ATVs and the motorbikes, they're causing more havoc than anything else, right? I think the police, I think Strachan knows, you need a task force just for the motorbikes on the street. We have some bad taxi drivers out there. I drive a taxi. The police are always on the road making noise with the sirens, right? But those ATVs and those motorbikes, they're taking over the streets, man. I'm more concerned with them than the police car or other people driving badly. Those guys on the sidewalk, they're going through other corners, one-way corners. They're blowing you off the road. Sometimes you think they probably the police because they're blowing you off the street or off the corner. You know what I mean?
It's chaotic. Yep, absolutely.
So I think they need a task force just for those ATVs, especially downtown, Lisbon Avenue, Victoria, in that area. I mean, it's like the wild, wild west.
Yeah, indeed. Thank you so much. Appreciate the call. Yep, something has to be done before somebody gets seriously hurt. Final call on this. Good morning. Call you on the air. Hi, good morning. Are you there? No? All right, let me read these messages as we go to a break. This person says here, the police need to have the traffic heading to the Fox Foundation giveaway flow in one direction. There are cars coming from every direction, which is causing a lot of the blocked traffic. Wow. This person says here, if we don't be proactive, we're being reactive, it'll be too late, and the damage would have already been done. We only address stuff after the fact, but then families are in tears. I'm not sure what they're talking about there. I'm not sure what's going on, but wow, okay. This is about NHI. We still have not been paid for November or December, but happy Christmas. Wow. Okay. This person says here, we should let Fox distribute his stuff in Rawson Square today while the police hand out traffic tickets on the curb by Pompey Square. Immigration can do their part too. Treasury will be straight. Wow. Okay.
Sorry, I won't be petty. It'll actually sound like we can make some good money there.
This person says here, oh, wow, this woman is eating a full plate of spaghetti while driving. I guess they're talking about the person next to them. Okay.
First thing in the morning?
I can understand a sandwich, but a full plate of spaghetti and...
You don't know the night she had. This is her dinner.
That's worse than texting. This is the texter saying that. The biggest difference between most of us out of prison and those in prison is that we didn't get caught. These people are still humans, have a heart. We are all but one choice away. Wow, okay.
Just to be clear, you should not be eating and driving, people.
Well, spaghetti would be a challenge.
I trying to figure that out.
I'm seeing on Blue Hill Road, I'm seeing motorbikes riding on sidewalks.
Like now?
It's very, very sad. Oh boy. Okay. Again, folks, we don't know how long it's going to go on for, but you might want to avoid the Oaks Field Sports Center area while this giveaway is going on. But lots of traffic in other parts of the island as well. We're just a few days away from Christmas, and it's going to be like this for a while. So keep that in mind.
Me out, Dwight. Stress me out.
It's looking rough out there. It's looking rough out there. Okay, we got to take a break for news headlines. We'll be back in just a bit. We're talking about the National Health Strategic Plan for the next few years. You don't want to miss it. Stay tuned.
To kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to
No one likes a fender bender.
Oh, man.
From a little scratch to a full mashup, NUA Insurance has got you covered with auto insurance tailored to fit your needs and budget. For affordable rates with free on-site accident assistance, visit us online or in branch and just ask us. NUA Insurance. Ask us because we've got you covered.
This This New Year's Eve, Bahamar invites you to experience a night where luxury meets pure island energy. A night designed for those who want to welcome 2026 in unforgettable style. On Tuesday, December 31st, the party ignites on the shores of Cable Beach with dazzling entertainment, premium open bars, gourmet food experiences, and a midnight fireworks spectacular lighting up the sky. And headlining the celebration, one of the biggest names in global music, Grammy Award-winning superstar Sean Paul, live at Bahamar, bringing an explosive performance that will carry you into the new year with non-stop vibes. Indulge in the taste of Bahamar Culinary Showcase, dance under the stars, and immerse yourself in the ultimate New Year's experience, all at the Caribbean's leading luxury resort destination. Make this your most iconic New Year's Eve yet. Secure your tickets now at bahamar.com/events. Bahamar, life spectacular.
This holiday season, give yourself the gift of a fresh start with a personal loan at Fidelity. You could win refreshing prizes like a luxurious spa day, John Boat gift certificates, a cruise for two, and more. Make that move to a fresh start today. Call 356-7764. Promotion ends December 19th.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas. Views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Monday, December 22nd, 2025. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Deandra Cartwright. And this morning we are talking about the National Health Strategic Plan for 2026 through 2030. Very pleased to have with us the co-chair of the steering committee, Dr. Charita Moxie, and change champion for the strategic plan, Bernishka Lewis. Good to have you all with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, and thank you for welcoming us.
All right, so is this a new thing that we've been doing? Have we been doing strategic plans before?
So this is not our first strategic plan as a country.
Okay.
When I looked in the archives, I saw strategic plans from back in the 1990s, believe it or not.
Oh, wow.
Yes. The most recent expired plan was developed in 2010, and it was a 10-year plan that led us to 2020.
Okay.
So here we are now in a new dispensation, obviously in a new era of health in the country.
Mm-hmm.
And so we need now to think around what do we need to do to improve health and well-being in the country for the next 5-10 years.
All right, let's expand on that. So why do we need a strategic health plan? What are the benefits to that?
So for me, I think I would want persons to understand that it's similar to the construction of your home. When you are building a home, in order to ensure that you have the right resources, you have the right trades, you do not overspend, you need a framework or a blueprint. And so for us, this strategy is our framework or blueprint. So that we can all not only be singing from the same book, but the same hymn sheet. Mm-hmm. And so we can realize some efficiencies so that we can work together towards common goals. And I think once we have a singular vision, we can direct our resources, we can direct our capacities, we can direct our annual work plans towards the common goal. And so that is why it is critical for us to have this blueprint.
Okay.
And it's for both public and private sector.
Right. So you say it's not the first. You've seen the ones before. We had one that was in existence. How did we do? What were some of the things on it before we get to this new plan? What were some of the things on it, and did we achieve all the goals?
So, great question. And in fact, that was one of the foundations for us launching this new plan. So we had an evaluation of the old plan to see how we did, and we did it in conjunction with the IDB. So what we found was that, we did make progress in some areas, certainly with regards to the number of births being attended by a health worker. We made some improvements. We also saw that although we're not meeting, when we look nationally, we're probably not seeing and feeling the increase in our health workforce manpower. We do still have shortages, but the reality is we've made progress. So we have more today than we had in 2010.
Okay.
Some of the areas where we are still very challenged certainly relates to our preventative measures in health, so preventative screenings. When we talk about vaccinations, we're seeing a slip in vaccinations. When we look at healthcare financing, certainly that is an area that needs some more significant bolstering. So again, we've had, and another positive for us is that we have been very aggressive in advancing health legislation that will inure to better health environments for the people of the Bahamas. So I think those are some of the pluses from 2010 to now.
Mm-hmm. So those are things we wanted to work on.
Those are the things we wanted to work on and we worked on.
Okay. All right. So tell us about the background behind this plan. And you mentioned the steering committee. How many people who was involved, and how did you come up with the plan before we get into it?
Okay, so with the steering committee, one of the things we want to highlight is it wasn't just persons from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Mm-hmm.
We encompass persons from the Public Hospitals Authority, NHI. We even had someone from ORG Bahamas as well who were represented on the steering committee. So it was very collaborative across the different agencies here in country. And so there were a lot of meetings. We had a lot of consultants, and we even reached out to the Bahamian people. A survey was created, and we wanted to hear from the people. What is important to you? What matters in your health? What do you want to see your government doing for your health and the health of the Bahamian people? And so we had that survey, and we analyzed those results. We also had focus groups where we spoke to people not only here in New Providence, but we spoke to people all over the country, all over the islands, because we wanted this to be representative. A lot of times, everything is just Nassau-centric, maybe Grand Bahama, but we wanted this to be representative of the country, of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Additionally, we had a lot of other sessions where we spoke to civil society, community organizations, professional organizations working in health. And so this is a very collaborative document. It isn't something, again, and that's one of the things I love about it. It wasn't just Ministry of Health sitting there saying, hey, this is what we're going to do, and then we could just tell them what we're doing. No, we asked a lot of people. We wanted to hear from everyone, and that was how we had, I think, so much success with this document.
Mm-hmm. How long did it take? What was the process like?
So in its entirety, it took us about 9 months to get to where we are today. As Ms. Lewis would have said, it is a very involved process. We would have had engagements, I think, with 16 family islands. Almost 2,000 Bahamians would have given us input into this document. And so we really want persons to understand that you allowed us to craft a document that is responding to what you told us, right? And layered on top of that, obviously, we would have looked at some of the data from our health system's data. We would have looked at the evaluation from the past strategic plan, and all of that would have fed into the new strategy for 2026, 2030.
Right. Okay. So I know you said the last plan was for 10 years. Why the difference for this plan? Why 2026 to 2030? Why such a shorter period?
So, two main reasons. The first is, as we all know, the world is very dynamic and things change. So, to have a 10-year plan really is not the current best practice because things can change so quickly. And we want to be responsive and we want to align with best practice. That's the first thing. And then the second reason is we recognize that the global health agenda, the SDGs, come to an end in 2030. And so again, here, we want to ensure that whatever health strategies we are proposing are culturally relevant, but they are also aligned with some global mandates as well. And so the 2030 mark then gives us the opportunity to understand what those new global mandates are in the context of our realities and then frame a new strategy.
Excellent. All right, so let's get into it. What are some of the key components of the new plan? What's changed? What are we most excited about? What can we expect?
So the plan, and I think both Ms. Lewis and I will talk on this particular question. The strategy has 8 pillars, that we're very, very, very excited about. Each of the pillars really, what I want people to take home today is that when we look at all of the pillars together, they're really about people, they're about equity, they're about ensuring that we have a future-ready system, and they're about ensuring that the inner workings of the health system are functioning so that we can, again, not only experience better services when we go to our clinics and our hospitals, but at the end of the day, we also see a decline in our non-communicable disease rates. We see increases in our vaccination rates. We see reductions in our incidences of HIV and AIDS, so forth and so on. And so one of the first pillars is around governance and leadership. And that's going to be very important because if the ship isn't steered properly, then we're going to have some serious challenges. Wow. And so it is not by chance that governance and leadership is the first pillar because we need to get that right. We have had several reports over the years that flag that the health sector could benefit from better unification, collaboration, and its level of fragmentation is actually doing it a disservice. So this particular pillar is focused on reducing that fragmentation so that, again, we can offer better care, we can experience certain greater efficiencies, and again, see reductions in our rates of non-communicable diseases and other things that really contribute to the health costs in the country. The second pillar...
Before you go on, so explain that a little more, because what does that mean exactly? You don't mean changing the minister or changing the government, but what do you mean? Just policies, focusing on policies? Break it down a little bit more for us.
So when we talk about governance and leadership, we are focused on, it's more so how we function as a unit, so how the ministry assumes its stewardship role in the country, how in its stewardship role it engages with its agencies and private sector. So the ministry's agencies are the Public Hospitals Authority, the Department of Public Health, NHIA. How do we, from a governance and leadership perspective, how do we ensure that there are accountability mechanisms so that we too, as we put out this plan, the Bahamian people know that they can expect a level of transparency, trust, and accountability from us. So all of that we are lumping into this pillar of governance and leadership.
Okay. All right. So that's the first pillar. The second pillar, what's the second pillar?
So the second pillar talks about health equity. And we recognize that due to our geography, there are some challenges with equity and ensuring that persons in San Salvador, Inagua, Ragged Island, Long Island, that they get access to services that they need, right? That's one part of equity. The other is we recognize that even in New Providence and Grand Bahama, there are still challenges with persons receiving the health care that they require. And the health care that I require is not necessarily the health care that Dwight is going to need, right? Yeah. So it's all those enabling factors that ensure that people, when they access our health facility, they can understand what is being said to them. So whether you are hearing impaired, whether you have some intellectual disability, whether you are at the high or low end of the socioeconomic scale, it shouldn't matter. So equity is giving you what you need in order to ensure that you have the highest level of health. So that's pillar 2. Pillar 3 is very big for us. Pillar 3 is very, very big for us because it talks about prevention and promoting health. And this is a sore point because sometimes we don't want to look at the man in the mirror, right? And recognize that we too have a role to play in our health journey. So this sets out for us how the ministry, the health sector, citizens will engage to ensure that they have the tools for better health. So here we look at, do we need to change our food environments, right? Do we need to bolster strategies and access to mental health services? Do we need to look at the standard benefits package for NHIA and perhaps start having conversations around whether or not mental health is included in that standard health benefits package? So
the answer is yes to all those questions, Dr. Moxie.
How do we encourage persons? Because the last step survey showed that although persons have preventative services available to them, by preventative services I mean going for your annual checkup, going for your dental checkup, having that breast examination done, prostate examinations done. Bahamians aren't doing it. So less than, our study showed us in 2019, less than 30% of Bahamians are benefiting from these preventative screening services. So how do we empower Bahamians to do what they need to do so that they can have better health? So that is another key pillar for us.
Yeah. Before you go on, do we know why that is? Why is it so low?
So we don't know specifically why for our context, but when we look at literature generally, we know that there's a certain level of apathy with regards to one's health, particularly among males. So males tend to have generally low, poor health-seeking behavior versus women. We know for the women in our society that really the demands of life sometimes serve as a barrier to them seeking care when they need to, because they have to take care of Grammy, they have to take care of children. I don't have time to go to the clinic. I don't have time to go to the doctor. And then other factors just related to health literacy. Do we really understand what role we play in our own health? Do we understand when somebody says to you, I need to have an annual physical examination, do you really understand the importance of that to you, to your family? So there's several factors, Dwight, but I think at the end of the day, we want to work on those enablers and barriers so that, again, we can reverse the trend of what we're seeing in this country, because I don't know if the audience knows, but in 2022, 80% of all deaths were due to non-communicable diseases. Wow. And we know that non-communicable diseases, by and large, are preventable.
Yeah. My goodness. Wow. We're talking with Dr. Charita Moxie and Brinishka Lewis, talking about the National Health Strategic Plan, 2026 through 2030. All right, so we went through about, what was that, 4 we went through? 3. All right, so we've got a few more. Brinishka, are you taking over?
Okay, so yes. So another important pillar we have is collaboration and partnerships. And this is very important because, again, Ministry of Health and Wellness, we can't do it by ourselves. And so we're going to have to partner with persons in private sector as well as other government agencies. When we're looking at our partnerships, we also want to look at academia. We want to see how can we partner with our tertiary education systems and see what can they do in terms of curriculum development, training for our healthcare workers, even in terms of research. And when we're talking about this, we also want to look internationally, looking at ways we can form partnerships for persons who need to seek care that may not be available here in country, and working on partnerships with those as well. And so that's where we look at a pillar of collaboration and partnerships. So then we move on to pillar 5. Pillar 5 is infrastructure and maintenance, and we're looking not only at the physical infrastructure, but also digital. We are in a world where we could have the prettiest building, the best building with all of the things, but if we don't have that digital thing there so that we can be in 2026 and whatever technology is happening, that we need that. It's very important. And it's also going to help provide even better care. We live in an archipelago. So with that good digital infrastructure there, we have persons in Inagua, they'll be able to talk to us here in New Providence. And we won't always necessarily have to jump on a flight to get things done, Some things, we have telehealth. We'll be able to employ all of these resources at our fingertips, but we need the digital as well as the physical infrastructure in place for these things to happen. We move on to our 6th pillar, which is health workforce. And this one is very, very near and dear to me. We want to make sure that the workforce is there and they're equipped to do the job. And so we want to look at the culture, the environment that they're working in. We want to make sure that they have the resources to do their job effectively. And some of those resources has to do with mentoring. It has to do with training. So we need to make sure that these opportunities are in place for our health care force. We want to look at retention, ways that we can, we always talk about this brain drain. We always say that the country is to the north. They're just taking all the healthcare workers, but we need to look at that and find a way for them to want to stay home. So we want to make sure that the policies, the environment, and just the opportunities are present for retention of healthcare workers and just to give them the chance and the opportunity to grow in this sector. Question.
Yeah, you can see it, right?
I see it.
I mean, okay, so you say you're going to look at it, but I mean, what can you really do? What is being done? What can be done? I mean, the salaries, often what we hear, I mean, they're very enticing, right? I mean, can we compete?
So, yeah, the salary, it is important, but when we say look at, so then we want to create opportunities for training. Sometimes it may even have to do with providing training opportunities for people to grow where they are right now. Make it a more supportive work environment. That's something that's very important. And so, yes, a person may leave, and not just in health, but just across the board because of money. But if you don't have a nurturing work environment, one that encourages you and wants to see you lead, wants you to take leadership positions, that puts you in a position where you can see that, hey, I have an opportunity to grow with this organization. I can advance. You will find that can contribute to them wanting to remain with you, as opposed to you feel like I'm stuck, I'm at this position and nowhere for me to go. The leadership, it's poor, no one mentors you, no one speaks to you, you don't know what's happening in the organization, it's not collaborative. And so something as simple as that could have an impact on retaining your staff, on retaining your team.
Dr. Moxie?
Yeah, and I completely agree with what Ms. Lewis is saying. The Bahamas would have been a part of a CARICOM-led initiative to understand why, our peoples are migrating to other territories. And what that study revealed was that, salary was not the highest reason, or was not the top reason.
Right.
As Ms. Lewis is saying, those that environmental factors. So do I feel supported? Do I feel motivated? Do I feel empowered as a worker? Weighed more heavily in the decisions to leave for quote unquote greener pasture. And so I think that provides us with an opportunity here in the Bahamas to, we recognize that, we might never be able to offer the same salaries, but it does provide us an opportunity to really look very closely at our work environments and to see how we can improve the working environments for our healthcare workers.
How quickly do you think we can see change in this? Because, I mean, we've been hearing some of the same complaints for many years, if not decades.
And I want to applaud the Ministry of Health here, because what it is seeking to do and accelerate. We've already begun the process, but we will accelerate it in 2026. Is understanding what are the real challenges for healthcare workers in the country, and using that information to develop a practical medium to long-term plan for recruitment, retention, succession planning, and the like with regards to our healthcare workers. So I think one of the key components of this particular pillar is the development of that strategy. Again, because the Bible says people perish for lack of knowledge, right? So when you don't have a vision, you don't have anything to work towards, to move towards. And so this strategy signals our national vision for the health workforce. I would say that we have had the opportunity to have in-depth conversations with a cross-section of health workers. And so we understand some of the challenges, and we will be using 2026 to quantify some of those challenges, so that again we can develop and formulate a strategy that's going to work for us.
Right. And I'm thinking about young people who are not done with school yet. Are they fully aware of the opportunities there are in the workforce, in the health careers? Are we doing a good enough job getting the information out to them?
So to the last point of your question, no, we're not doing a good enough job. But in the strategy now, you will see where we have focus on how do we sensitize, how do we make more visible the opportunities in health? Because it's not just doctors and nurses.
Right.
It's not just pharmacists and dentists.
Yeah.
It's not just allied health workers. We need biomedical engineers. We need data scientists. We need epidemiologists. So there's a whole array we need public health specialists. So there's a whole array of opportunities that are available within the health sector. So if you don't like seeing blood, we have options for you.
Right. Okay, that's good to know. Good to know. All right, so we have a few more.
Yeah, I know. I actually had a question. So, I've heard so much about plans, right? I'm just wondering about the interconnectivity, because I heard there's some work going on with the National Development Plan as well. So does this feed into that? Is it independent? Are we all working together?
100% it feeds into the National Development Plan. In fact, we've had discussions with them throughout this process, and they are fully supportive of what we have articulated in this plan, and I have no doubt that you will see some of this translated into the National Development Plan as they upstart and reinvigorate their processes.
Oh, excellent. Because that's also, you had mentioned something earlier about, the Sustainable Development Goals and the 2030 timeline and all that good stuff in the National Development Plan for ladies and gentlemen, our listeners. That's actually a part of the 2030, the SDGs, for countries to have national development plans that are working up and running. And so it's really great to hear that we have a health plan supplementing and feeding into that as well. So,
all right. So we've got two more pillars, right? Of the 8. Okay, what are the final 2?
So the big one, financing, and how do we ensure that we can, because, the reality is healthcare, because NCDs are increasing, because morbidity, so the consequences or the sequelae of these non-communicable diseases are manifesting, healthcare costs is increasing.
Right.
And again, the question becomes, can we sustain this over the long haul if this trajectory continues? And the reality is, no, we cannot. So the first stab at this health financing is, while we treat, we also have to prevent. You remember we talked about that big pillar of prevention. So we also have to prevent, because we cannot continue to grow the numbers of persons with non-communicable diseases and other types of diseases that require the aid of the health sector. The second is, can we continue to rely solely on the public purse to finance healthcare? So again, we're gonna have to ask ourselves some hard questions. Maybe the answers won't be as comfortable, as we're used to, but we're certainly intentional about exploring mechanisms for expanding how we finance health in this country. So that's pillar 7, financing of the health sector. The last pillar, pillar 8, talks about innovation for health. And this is really how do we future-proof our health system. We have to engage new technologies. As Ms. Lewis would have said, this is an ever-changing world. Technology that was relevant 2 weeks ago, is now outdated, right? So how do we keep pace with this technology? How do we, and right now one of the technologies is AI, right? I mean, in 3 years' time, it might be something else. But for right now, how do we leverage AI to support the health sector? Not to replace it, but to support it. How do we ensure that because of our geography, we have telemedicine services so that, again, somebody in Inagua does not necessarily need to fly to Grand Bahama or New Providence for a dermatology consult or urology consult or peds consult. So how do we leverage innovation to support better health? And then innovation also has embedded in it research. So it is always good for us to understand what is going on regionally and globally. But what is best is when we understand our people from our context and our research. And so this last pillar, pillar 8, really looks at how we can encourage, how we can build an environment that will increase the amount of research that is conducted in this country so that we can, again, have nationally produced data to guide policy, to guide intervention.
Yeah. All right, we're talking with Dr. Charita Moxie and Bernishka Lewis. Again, we're talking about the National Health Strategic Plan for 2026 through 2030. Okay, so it all sounds wonderful, but we are a week away from 2026. And 2030 will be here before you blink. Do you have timelines or markers where you're saying, okay, we're well on our way, we're achieving this, we've met this goal? How is that looking?
So again, excellent question, Dwight. We would be remiss and negligent if we produced a national health strategy without an indicator framework for us to monitor our progress and our achievement over time. And so you will see a compendium to this national health strategy, which is our indicator metric framework, which will outline for us all those timelines against the actions and sub-actions, what we hope to achieve. So, and, one might say, y'all are being very ambitious. I think we ought to be ambitious, but we ought to be realistic in our ambition. So we're not going to say we want to reduce morbidities due to NCDs from 80% to 15% in 5 years. That's just not realistic, right? But what we are saying is that we want to see a reduction and we want to see things headed in the right direction. So it might be in 2030 we don't hit the mark, but if we see that we're heading in the right direction, then we know to continue. But again, we hope that by the end of January, that compendium will be available for public consumption, where you can see our timelines, our indicators, and the targets that we're hopeful to achieve by 2030.
Right. Okay. But I want to go back to financing. What role are the insurance companies playing in this? What can you tell us more about that? And when we can realistically see some changes or have that tough discussion that you're saying about how we fund healthcare in this country?
So from the insurance perspective, that's NHI's domain. And so I will leave that with NHI. I know that with regards to the recent new NHI Act, there was significant conversations held with the insurance industry. with regards to have we had those tough conversations around, how do we sustainably fund health in this country. I would say over the years we have touched on it, but it's been uncomfortable for a lot of people, and so we've kind of backed off.
Change the topic.
Right. I think the time has now come where we can no longer push the can down the road. We're going to have those tough conversations as a people, and really think about, the true cost of a burger today, 5 years, 6 years, 10 years down the road, the true cost of a crispy piece of fried chicken, the true cost of tobacco smoking, the true cost of alcohol, so these things have consequences, and we don't necessarily see those consequences today or 48 hours later, but they're down the road, right? And so again, we're going to have those real conversations. I think as this process rolled out, the ministry has done some groundwork with regards to some of these areas that we think that we can explore for additional financing, but we need to mainstream those conversations.
Brunishka, you're not really representing NHI here, but you are with NHI. Anything you can tell us in regard to that?
No, at this point, I can't speak towards that intelligently.
All right. Well, we've got a couple questions here on our text line. You can text us as well, 422-4796. This person says here, oh boy.
Remember, we don't want to get sued.
Well, I mean, I don't know if our guests can answer this question, but anyway. So, big question: where's the funding coming from? We talked about that. And I text. I don't know if you're paying attention to what's happening here. Some of this is a little off, but they're saying, well, they're talking about NHI and paying providers and the hospitals without medication.
Those are other guests. Those are
other guests, right? All of this sounds good, but we have so many issues, right? Well, you mentioned it before. We know we have many challenges here, and there's going to be a lot of work to do.
A lot of work ahead. And I'm glad you said that, because we do not want there to be this misconception that, we have this paper, this plan, this strategy, that the work now stops. The work is just beginning. And the work requires all of us coming to the table. So again, not just the Ministry of Health. This is not the Ministry of Health in 2030. If only the Ministry of Health takes this up and tries to implement and act, we will fail. It takes each and every one of us in our homes, in our institutions, in our workplaces to really, and I invite everybody to read the document. It is on the Ministry of Health's website, Facebook page. I invite you to read the document. And as we would have said in other spaces, read it to see where you fit in it and how you can act.
All right, so that was going to be my next question. What should we be doing, members of the public? What are you expecting of us?
I will reiterate. Read the document and to see yourself in it and act, right? So if it is in that prevention space, so that is pillar 4. So if it's in that prevention space, what can I do at the home level, at the community level to prevent illness and maintain health, right? If I am in that collaboration space, if I am a civil society organization, what can I do in that collaboration space to work along with health and other health-related agencies to move this work forward? How can I infuse, if I'm a health provider, how can I infuse these 8 pillars into my annual work plans? If I am a teacher, how do I communicate with my students about health literacy so that as they walk through geography, social sciences, history, I'm building health literacy within the school-age population. So I think we all have a role to play in this over the next 5 years if we want to see and realize those improved health outcomes.
Yeah. And I dream big. Where do you want us to be 2030 based on the plan? And ideally, where should the Bahamas be if all goes according to the plan?
So we often look at ourselves relative to what's going on globally, right? And we know that we have a very high GDP. Though we have a high GDP, the Allocation for health is not where it should be. If we are to look at international benchmarks. So I think thinking big, I would want to see there to be better allocation for health. I think also thinking big, I would want to see there to be less fragmentation within the health sector, particularly the public health sector, and service delivery can be amalgamated under one umbrella. I think thinking big, I would like to see us implement some of the legislation that we already have, implement and enforce some of the legislation that we already have on book that can enable us and make the healthier choice the easier choice. I think thinking big, I would like to see us to a place where we have a health workforce that is empowered and motivated. I think thinking big, I would like to see where every citizen understands their role in their own health journey.
Pranishka Lewis, what about you?
For me, I love everything that Dr. Moxie said, and I'm going to agree. And I'm really tooting for the health workforce. If I had to pick a favorite pillar, that everything that she said, that it comes to fruition by the end of 2030. And for me, as a change champion, is for me to do my part. And so there's a team of change champions. It's to help drive this document. When you go through the document, you'll see that there are sub-action points, there are strategic points, as well as the monitoring tool that's being developed, And so it's for us now to make sure that the persons that are responsible for these things, the relevant stakeholders, they're held accountable, and for us to kind of drive the force to make sure that, hey, these things are happening, and to work through and make sure this document doesn't just sit there and be another fancy thing that we wasted resources on.
Right. Wow. All right. So I don't know if this is possible, but we're hoping maybe each year we could have you back.
Hold the feet to the fire. What they say?
To give us an
hold
update.
our feet to the fire.
Is that possible? Can we commit to that?
We would hope it's more regular than that.
Hey,
I
let's
think,
do it.
Again, Dwight, I think the shift that we're making here is we want the public to hold us accountable.
Okay.
And that is why we are in 2026, we will ramp up our sensitization of this strategy so that people know what's in it and they can hold us accountable.
Excellent. Looking forward to it. Dr. Charita Moxie, Pranishka Lewis, thank you all so much for being here this morning.
Thank you for having us. Happy holidays.
Same to you. Merry Christmas, happy holidays. All the best in 2026, and hopefully we'll see you a lot more next year and going forward. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back to wrap up things on this Monday before Christmas. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio. Stay with us.
This holiday season, as we reflect on a year of opportunities and challenges, CFAL remains committed to strengthening the financial future of the Bahamas. For more than 25 years, we've partnered with individuals, businesses, and institutions to build secure pensions, resilient investment portfolios, and long-term financial confidence. This Christmas, we celebrate progress and continue our mission to help you plan wisely, invest strategically, and secure what matters most to you. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
This holiday season, give yourself the gift of a fresh start with a personal loan at Fidelity. You could win refreshing prizes like a luxurious spa day, John Boat gift certificates, a cruise for 2, and more. Make that move to a fresh start today. Call 356-7764. Promotion ends December 19th.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
As an athlete, I've learned that success isn't built on extras. It's built on the essentials. Strength, discipline, smart choices. That's why I'm proud to partner with Bahama Health to introduce Essential 300, a comprehensive health insurance plan that's all about covering what truly matters. Essential 300 is Bahama Health's most affordable major medical plan for groups and individuals. It offers access to a specialized network of care with essential benefits like preventative services, because real strength starts with staying healthy. You may not be training for a race, but everyone deserves strong and affordable coverage with Essential 300. With Bahama Health, you can feel good about your health plan and protect what truly matters, your health.
For more information, call 396-1350 or visit www.bahamahealth.com.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
It is time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. IRCA, the Utilities Regulation and Competition Authority's budget for 2026 will increase by 12% as the regulator takes on more work thanks to a plethora of public-private partnerships that the government has entered into in order to improve electricity production around the country. And also LNG, liquefied natural gas activities ramping up in 2026. IRCA explained that increases in staff as it relates to the natural gas sector, as well as salary and benefit increases, led to a 15% increase in staff costs. The budget will grow from $11 million to $12.3 million. IRCA will have to scrap plans to salvage a shelved plan in the new year because it does not want to place the financial burden of implementing the plan on the stakeholders of the electricity sector. IRCA said it initially intended to undertake a comprehensive revision and consolidation of renewable energy frameworks because it had secured international grant funding for the project. However, only a few weeks after U.S. President Donald Trump was sworn into office, one of his policies saw the sweeping removal of many types of aid to countries around the world. In March, IRCA's Director of Utilities and Energy, Jonathan Hudson, explained that a U.S. Agency for International Development, or USAID, grant designed to help IRCA streamline and make more attractive the process for people entering into a renewable energy project was pulled. USAID is a U.S. government agency responsible for administering foreign aid and development assistance. Many businesses are taking a proactive approach to audits in preparation for business license filings in 2026, according to a partner at accounting advisory audit firm Creston Bahamas, Pretino Albury, who told Guardian Business that this end-of-year period has been notably active for businesses under the care of Creston Bahamas. You can read more about that in today's Guardian Business section. A top Ministry of Tourism, Investments and Aviation official says that the yachting has untapped potential for the Bahamas and is a great way to diversify the country's tourism product. Jonathan Lord, the regional manager of yachting and sports at the ministry, saying that yachting and sports represent powerful verticals where the Bahamas has a natural advantage and untapped potential. In your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX from Friday, your market movers, Consolidated Water down 25 cents, closing at $7.08. Emira Incorporated down 4 cents, closing at $11.84. The BISX All Share Index closing at 3,089.88, down 0.30. Recapping the week, the local market ended the week with 8,865 shares crossing the exchange, with 6 trades accumulating a value of $79,595. The BISX All Share Index lost 5.74 points, or 0.185%. Ending the week at 3,089.98. Year to date, the index is up 81.76 points, or 2.718%. The week's volume leader, AML Foods, moving 3,900 shares in one trade with a value of $25,935. And the value leader was Finco, moving 2,000 shares in 2 trades with a value of $31,420. That's your Market Watch, and that is your morning business report brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. Don't forget to tune in tonight to CFAL Talk, 6:30 p.m. right here on Guardian Radio 96.9. DeAndre Cartwright, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much, Dwight, Sean, for having me.
Be careful on these mean streets of New Providence. Be safe.
I'm going to try. You too. I try and figure out how I can duck traffic around here.
Yeah, right. Everybody have a great one. Enjoy the holidays. Chester Robards will be here with you tomorrow. I'll see you in 2026. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green next.
What a bright time, it's the right time to rock the night away. Jingle bell time is a swell time to go gliding in the one-horse sleigh. Giddy up, jingle horse.
Southwest Plaza has so many stores, I've been trying to find a sensible way to list them all. There's CBS Bahamas, the Ashai Institute, BENC Snack World, Bamboo Shack Bahamas, there, the Athlete's Foot and BTC, Games and More, John Bull Fine Threads, Alive, Bahari, Dairy Queen, 700 Wines and Spirits, Sandy's Clocks and Island Luck, Starbucks and Lowe's Pharmacy, plus Marco's Pizza and Lorraine. Southwest Plaza, what a wide array of stores. Southwest Plaza, stop by today and explore.
It's that time of year again when we look ahead, setting goals, making plans, and envisioning a better tomorrow. At CFAL, we're here to guide you every step of the way. Whether you're ready to start investing, strengthen your retirement, or build lasting generational wealth,